Welcome everyone. Today we're doing a little podcast. I have Kevin with me. I have Luke from Rocket Sloth, Sean W, and Nikos. And we're going to talk about basically everything Halo Infinite right now, the current state of it, and just a whole bunch of various thoughts about kind of how Halo Infinite's going. And so, I don't know, we'll see where it goes. You guys want to say hello?
Hello.
Howdy.
Off to a good start with Sean leaving.
Yeah, I'd like to mention it was a little awkward, Sean just bouncing.
Oh, that's good. He
Well, I
disconnected.
guess I got real bored real quick.
Yeah,
He must
all
have disconnected.
That's
He says
fair
I
enough.
was having issues.
Fuck it. All right, that's whatever. we'll troop her on. All right, so
No longer. Oh, he said Lemao, invite me back.
Sean,
Okay.
just join any of the chats, and I can drag you in. But yeah, so basically, I mean, I think everyone has kind of seen it. You know, the player numbers, they're not looking the crispiest. Now, granted, we can only really see the Steam numbers, but Steam numbers are down from, I don't know, the peaks was like 200 some K for the first week, where we've now dwindled into the 20s, you know, and we're still 3 months out. I think I saw the Halo Infinite countdown Twitter say we're still 30 or 90 days out from hold on, let me invite Luke back, or Sean back. We're still 90 days out from good old season 2. So, you know, it's pretty dry right now. We got some new news, but I think, why don't we just kind of start? We'll do a little round table here, and everyone can kind of give their general opinion, kind of how you guys think Halo Infinite's doing. How is it doing compared to your like pre-launch expectations a little bit? So why don't you give it a start, Nikos?
Oh, okay. Thank you. Also, I believe it's a little dark in the stream, the Discord box,
I fixed it.
but fixed it. Awesome. All right, I'll go ahead and start.
There you go.
So...
Sorry, guys. I don't know.
Welcome back, Sean.
I tried to open Discord, another tab to ping my Discord, and then it kicked me out. Sorry.
Oh, you're all
No,
good.
yeah. Okay, so what do I think about Halo Infinite? Well, I was one of the Halo Infinite apologists when the game first came out. I just like to get that out of the way. In the first month, I was addicted to this game. And just to keep in mind, I've played Halo generally more as a casual game. I probably logged the most hours in Forge or custom games with my friends. And when Halo Infinite came out, I could live without the Forge feature just for a bit, because there was Big Team, there was Quick Play. But after only a month, not even a month, I believe, Big Team crashed. That was my favorite mode. So that really pissed me off. And then social modes got really old because I kept playing Oddball 24/7. And that drove me insane with randoms. And then just there's a real lack of content. Like, I'm being real. Even in the ranked scene, I tried to get into the ranked scene. I started trying to figure out the call-out system and all that, because I'm not a pro player. But when I started doing that, I was just getting driven insane, because I'm like, haven't I been on Aquarius 3 times today? And it's just a real big shame, because I've seen the Steam numbers, and for a free game to be performing like this is just not so great. And kind of disappointing, because I want to continue making content for this game. I love the core gameplay. I still have loved it since it came out. But it's just so busted here and there. And it just, like, every time I play, every time I record, you tab out of the game, your frames will drop. So anytime you try to tab out and do something in a multitask, you're done for. The bugs just pile up, and it becomes a pain to make content for. But I gotta say, all in all, the gameplay, it's like a drug addiction. I keep coming back, and I can't stop.
It
Someone
really
help
does
me.
kind of feel like that. It
That's
do feel like
Halo.
that.
That's
It's
Halo, man.
crisp. It's crisp, but there's too many hiccups between the melees, and man, it could be great. Also, I want to see further keyboard and mouse support, but you know, probably not gonna get that. That's pretty much how I feel. I don't know what the Xbox numbers are, but I will say this much:
So,
I haven't seen
I-
any free skins.
I have
Go ahead.
something to say there on the Xbox number. So there was a tweet earlier from Tom Warren, and this is all speculation number hours here, boys. But there was a tweet from Tom Warren here where he says that Destiny yesterday, so this would have been yesterday, was pulling 275,000 players on Xbox, and that put Destiny the 10th most played game on Xbox in North America because the Xbox most played games list is region based. So currently, and for a week or two, because I check it periodically, Halo Infinite has been about 5th. Now, if you take the Steam numbers that are in this same tweet, 224K for Destiny, that's about 60K concurrence on Steam for Destiny yesterday. So I would venture you're probably talking maybe 75 to 80K concurrent on Xbox, but this pure speculation. It could be a bit more, it could be a bit less. I don't know the difference between 10th and 5th. And something to keep in mind too is also Halo Infinite and just Halo in general has primarily been a game that's been big in North America. Whereas obviously I think Destiny, and I think most people would agree, Destiny has a better like global reach. So that could play with the numbers a little bit. Halo Infinite's obviously 5th in North America, but I don't think it's nearly that high if you pull up the Xbox website if you live in Europe or something like that. So that's kind of some insight maybe roughly into Xbox numbers.
Rash, close your DMs, Rash.
Are my DMs open? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, don't read those. Don't read those, boys. Was there good ones in there? All right.
Exposed.
All right. Anyways.
No, there was nothing in there.
Oh my
You
God.
catch my DM?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
did.
That's just, oh my God, the whole world knows now. Okay. Anyways.
So
So
started with S, Rash.
So I would say probably if Steam is kind of peaking here at 30K because the new event started, I guess maybe that excited people, but like if it's peaking in the 20s every day, I would say Xbox is probably 3 to 4 times more than that. Obviously this also doesn't include I don't think the Xbox most played list includes the Microsoft Store, but I almost think that's negligible. You're probably talking like 5-10K at max, and I wouldn't even think it would be that much because why play on the Microsoft Store when it's free on Steam? Like MCC was kind of different because you could get it for free through Game Pass, but with Halo Infinite, unless for some reason you just don't use Steam, I don't know why you'd use the Microsoft Store, you know what I mean?
Right.
Campaign.
Yeah. I guess. to
Yes,
finish up,
campaign.
like,
But yeah, like
get-
I have Game Pass, but I have the game on Steam.
yeah, that could contribute to it.
Well, for sure, there's hundreds of thousands of people playing every day, which, that's still a lot of people. It's still one of the most played games on Xbox. But I don't know with that Microsoft Store. Is that like, they don't tell you what the numbers are. So is that in the past week? Is that in the past month? Like, what is it?
Yeah,
is
they
it,
don't,
how
they don't
often
mention
does it
how
update?
they measure.
No,
they don't
yeah.
mention how they measure that either. They don't mention if it's like time played on the game,
Yep.
amount of people who played for that week or that day or that month either, and stuff like that. So they just have like a rough list of the most popular games, which when you look at it, go like, yeah, that looks about right though.
It does look right.
And
But
then
who knows
I mean,
where it'll be
Halo
next
Infinite,
month?
and Halo Infinite, I mean, for until like a couple of weeks ago, was ahead of Apex Legends as well on that list when it comes to popularity on Xbox.
It was.
And I know I've seen this previously as well, where like games that are traditionally known as like console games tend to kind of struggle a little bit when it comes to moving over to PC, except for like Destiny does well on Steam. Because like I remember like seeing like the Call of Duty numbers when Call of Duty used to be on Steam, that there would be like,
they used to be terrible.
so many more. Yeah, it used to be so many more people
Yeah.
on console compared to the PC. But of course, that's because generally I'd say PC market probably has more of a hatred towards Call of Duty than anything else. Where I think maybe just on PC, people are just like less interested in Halo compared to like if you're on Xbox.
Those old Call of Duties too got the shaft in terms of PC support, so that's
True,
something to like keep
yeah.
in mind too.
Mhm.
They were really
very
badly
true.
badly optimized for PC, and they had really bad support, so that kind of played into the bad PC
Very
numbers.
true,
But
yeah.
they were definitely
Rash, are you playing right now?
no, it's
You're
just
destroying kids.
it's random
Oh.
footage from my computer.
Oh, I was like, damn.
Dude, I'm not trying to pull up
Like, yeah,
fucking
bro, this-
websites and
Ratchet.
Low key just gets an ace in attrition.
I was like,
Rash, Rash, why are you using my gameplay, dude?
I'm sorry. All right, I told you I wasn't gonna use it, but I had to. All right, I was all out of gameplay. Okay. All right. Does anyone else have any kind of general thoughts on kind of how you feel about Infinite at the moment?
I'm losing hope. I'm really losing hope. I feel like people are losing hope. We need to get something from 343 as soon as possible. Like, that's just how I feel right now. I'm like running out of hopium. I like the game, but the server issues are just Jesus. Like, it's so hard to play.
It's borderline unplayable.
Facts.
It's getting close to that. Like, I logged into a big team match earlier today. Like, this was today. I just wanted to play big team again. I made it in after 5 minutes of loading and being kicked out twice. And then the music, you know, the loading into a game music, that one like 5-second loop, it lasted for another 3 minutes in game, that loop. So there was just a rock guitar serenading my sadness as we went in. And half the players quit too.
It's just like the more you play, the more you notice the little glitches and the server stuff. Like when we first played it, you know, you're still getting a feel for it, but you know, everybody's starting to get better at the game, so you notice those little desyncs, you know, when your shot doesn't land or when the melee doesn't work. So yeah, man, I think people really need some hope right now, and it definitely doesn't help that Joe Staten just tonight was like, yeah, we don't have a roadmap anytime soon, it seems. Man,
that's regrettable, dude.
Yeah, so that was something that was going to be my next point I wanted us to talk about here is this good old tweet where we were supposed to get, and Sean pointed out in his video where he actually went and found the blog post and everything like that. But when the game dropped, they said we were going to get more information on like co-op and forage and everything and the seasonal roadmap in January. Then January ended, the Reddit detectives were out there saying, where's the roadmap? And so 343 came to tell us that they delayed the roadmap. I understand it. It's probably hard to put out a roadmap, but also at the same time, like there's nothing good I glean from this. Well, just that's the most positive spin I can put on them delaying the roadmap.
It makes no sense. Like, bro, all right, you don't know when Forge is coming out, right? Obviously, it's scuffed or there's something wrong with it, but like, you can't give us a little teaser. Like, give us a little teaser, you know? Like, they can't go in there and just show us like a little feature or something. Like, start teasing us with stuff. You don't have to say like when it's coming out, but just give us like something, anything, you know? Show like, imagine they just did a little thing for co-op where they had just a couple of Spartans, or I don't know how many people we're going to be able to play with. Maybe it'll be 4 or it's just 2, but a few Spartans running around, you know, on the campaign map. And it's like, look, it's not ready yet. We don't know when it's coming, but look at these Spartans running around on Zeta Halo. People would lose their minds. They'd be like, oh my God. Like, Halo fans will get hype over the most basic stuff. But instead, they're like, oh, we need more time.
They don't show anything. They're not impressive anymore. Bungie would show wild stuff. And I'm not saying Bungie's better than 343. We see where they went with Destiny 1, but like, I don't see heart and soul in this game. It doesn't feel like a passion project. Halo doesn't. Like, it doesn't feel like an art. It's much like the rest of the gaming industry. Very
some parts of it do, though. Some parts.
Yeah, I'll give it that much.
Like, there's obviously a lot of passion.
Feels like that.
The campaign feels exactly like that.
The cosmetics look like awesome. Like, I feel like that's why people get frustrated, because like the Spartans look sick, but they're very expensive. It's like you want to get them, but you can't afford them. Like the shop today looks awesome. Like the visuals of it, like all those cool looking things, but then it's just very expensive. You know, so I think there's passion there. So I definitely think there's passion there.
There no doubt. There 100%. Like there's people at 343 that have huge passion for Halo. I mean, we've seen the stories, even the community managers that have to put up with like, and I feel for those dudes because they have the worst fucking spot, because they get put in the position where they just have to constantly deal with people attacking them, when in reality they have no control over what's getting fixed or what's going on with the game. But they have to be the front facing part of the company that tells everyone like, hey, stuff still stinks, and they get the brunt of that. But so obviously, like, there's plenty of people at 343 that have passion. That there's no doubt there. But your point about the cosmetics, you think they're really cool. I think they're bland. I think they're okay for a Halo game. If these were cosmetics that came with Halo 4 or something and you were unlocking them in game, they're fine. But like, compared to other live service games that are out, the cosmetics in this game, price to price, are pathetic. The cosmetics you can get in Fortnite or Valorant or the new Call of Duty, any of those games, or Apex, for the amount of money that you pay for an armor set in Halo, even after reduced prices, is unreal for what you get. You just get some Halo looking armor, whereas like if you pay currently there's $100 bundle in Valorant, but like I'm not saying people should pay for that, but like it literally completely changes the guns. Like they have all new, brand new, fresh animations, they have new models, they have new sounds, they have new kill effects. Like it's totally encompassing, and it's like super cool. Whereas Halo's, it's like it's a visor that goes on your character.
Crooked visor.
A crooked visor that's going to take 3 months to fix.
And
like,
see, that's why I feel it's got no heart and soul. I mean, I shouldn't overgeneralize. I know there's people out there, especially in 343, who are trying to make this something beautiful and good, just like the good Halos. And I respect that, and I'm all power to them. It just feels cheeky whenever you have a semi-good, you have like a semi-good cosmetic, and it's sold, and it's like only available in the store, because they mentioned, and in Vidoc, I believe it was, they mentioned everything could be earned for free. You can't circumvent it through buying it. And that just really leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I don't know if that's 343's decision or what, but go ahead.
Also,
Luke.
I mean, the best cosmetic was the cat ears. It's like everybody, that was like funny or like look cool or whatever. It was like the best cosmetic they had. And like, I don't know, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, well, it's like with those kind of cosmetics, I think that's something that I think is totally fine for charging for. Because that's kind of like more unique kind of armor sets and stuff like that. That kind of really kind of stand out. Where like like where they did previously was charge $20 for a Hazop armor set, whereas like when you have a battle pass that's for like Halo Reach armors, that like you think you just kind of like throw that in there, especially since we were able to get that as for playing the game previously as well.
Yeah,
it's just, to me, that doesn't really seem like it's not worth spending that kind of money on that kind of cosmetic.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I don't think the price actually matters. Like, Valorant is fucking expensive, right? And like, but still people buy it because it looks cool. Yeah. I don't think the price matters. If the skins look cool, I think less people will complain about the price. They just don't look cool. It's just not worth at all. And I don't know how many like free-to-play games I've played where like within the 5 minutes I've spent like $10 on some cosmetics and I've never touched the game again just because the cosmetics look cool and I want to look cool for the hour I play that game. Like literally, there's nothing like that in Halo.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, the only stuff I bought into was definitely like the eagle head attachment for the assault rifle, and then the neon superfly coating set. That's the only thing I've bought so far.
I think the rotating store, right? It's like, what is it like? It updates every week.
Yeah, it's every week, and then there's the
that's
daily
way
thing.
too long. That's way too long. Fortnite updates. It's like what, every 24 hours, and it's like, I don't know, like 20 skin or like 20 bundles or some shit, right? Every time. And like
there's like one there's one daily slot though.
Yeah, one daily slot, right, and then a weekly or something. But like still, I feel like there's more like rotation in there. And also like Call of Duty moved away from the weekly thing. You can just buy any bundle like at any point. You know what I mean? Like there's
I didn't know that.
I feel like the weekly like or the rotational store is already kind of like, I don't know, not that efficient anymore. Like it doesn't force anyone to buy anything anymore, and like the skins are shit, so like people don't like want to buy it, and then they're just there for a week, where they could be making more money if they just have it all. Like obviously you can still have the storefront that updates every week, right? But like if I click on an armor and I want to buy the Cadios right now, I can't, right? When like Call of Duty, if I click on a gun, I want a specific bundle, I could just buy it through the gun. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I just feel like they don't want people to spend money. And that, like,
I think those games have the advantage of like, Fortnite has kind of mastered the shop, but when it first came out, it was more basic. So 343, it's like they kind of have to learn how to do a shop. So that's why
but it's
they probably don't have as much stuff.
Like I can look at other games, right? And like I can see this is how a good store looks, right? And I don't work in video games or anything. And like I feel like someone, they could have figured it out. They could have put a team together and like thought about it. But they just went like really basic, like first idea, like I don't know.
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Absolutely right, bro. Yeah, there's no excuse for them to not have just taken a quick glance, download Fortnite and look at that shop and go, okay, let's do this. Instead, they've made something very basic. No, absolutely.
That's kind of what a lot of the gaming industry as a whole has saw what Fortnite did with the Battle Pass, and they're like, okay, just do that.
Right.
And we're finally, well, at least for season 2, at least we're going to be able to get credits with the Battle Pass for season 2, which is like I don't know why it wasn't there in the first place.
Yeah,
It's just
that's
kind of
another thing.
standard.
Somehow they like every battle pass has like credits. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, what a better way to
Exactly.
incentivize
not
people to
played the
keep
game.
playing by giving them free money, and then
Yeah.
you give them a chance to spend that credit either on new battle pass or items in the shop, which will kind of help break that barrier of them, experiencing the free to play microtransaction store stuff, where it may make that actual make them kind of coerce them into buying actual items with the money that they actually spend from their wallet rather than earning in game. But at least now they're making that step with season 2. But I don't know why they didn't do it with season 1. Maybe there was upper management was saying hell no to that.
It's just such a mystery.
Yeah,
to
I
me.
mean, yeah. Even if upper management is like, I don't know, lost. Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
like somewhere
they are.
along the pipeline, like someone didn't like manage this right. I don't know. It's just
I don't
weird.
know.
I think
the normal thing. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say I think Halo Infinite, and this isn't just the store. This is the whole game. It's like the epitome of having too many different visions, and then
Yeah.
none of them get fulfilled, and you end up with like this weird like amalgamation of where the game was supposed to be, where you kind of like you had all the, and obviously they did something for 6 years, right? So they probably had all these grand ideas and they wanted to do all this stuff. Multiple different leads leave, multiple different leads, like things switch out, ideas change, and you end up scrambling to try and put something together because obviously at some point you have to put a game out. And so you just kind of like piece together what you have left. And I think that's why we have so many things that just make no sense. Like we have a live service game where the UI doesn't allow them to add new playlists. Like what world am I living in? Like we have a live service game that is actively hampered by the fact the UI just doesn't work for live service. Like they can't
343. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, like, they literally had to tell us, okay, so they made this big deal about how they wanted to separate items from bundles and allow you to buy individual items. And then they had to tell us like a week later, like, oh, sorry, we can't actually do that at the same time because the UI doesn't allow us. Like, what, like,
Are you for real?
That one,
They said that?
I was like, really? You're not like you have to like separately be like individual or separately a bundle. It can't be like you can't pick a thing from a bundle.
Yeah, where any other game, any other live service I've played, you have a bundle and it gives you a bundle discount, and if you want to buy a specific item, you pay full price for it. I don't know how that gets messed up. That is common live service.
Yeah, no.
Sounds like a management issue to me on that one.
I'm starting to wonder. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, I don't know anything about game development, but like what you said with like too many visions and stuff, right? They heavily rely on contractors. They get moved out every 15 months, right? So like
18 months, yeah.
Or 18 months.
But yeah.
Like for like that's like what, like 3-4 generations of contractors working on this game. And I feel like it's weird that like 6 years ago someone completely different worked on like the vision for Halo Infinite. And now we have someone completely different that isn't probably there anymore. You know what I mean? It just seems weird to rely on that so heavily. But
actually, I work as a contractor at Microsoft, and it's kind of standard for Microsoft to usually rely on like the grunt work to be done by contractors, and then full-time employees actually are the ones that are kind of up there making the decisions.
Yeah,
but even then, though, it's like it still slows down the process, like having to like refresh a new person in 18 months because then Microsoft doesn't have to pay health insurance, basically.
Right, and also like like you're a contractor for 18 months, right? And then like after 50 months you start looking for a new job, maybe focusing on other things too. You know what I mean? Like, which is totally fair, but like I feel like that just adds so much more like not issues, but like I don't know, it just makes it so much more complicated to keep track of everything. And I think that's why maybe a lot of these things got overseen, like basic store stuff or basic battle pass stuff.
I agree with you, but I also think like what Kevin said, because like I haven't worked in game development, but I've worked at like many companies that heavily utilize contracting, and Kevin even said it himself, like the way it should be set up is your full-time employees should be the ones making decisions. They should be managing the project, and then you contract out like the actual like grunt work, like the coding and the day-to-day stuff. So even if those people are cycling in and out, it shouldn't actually be a problem, because the people that are staying, assuming they stayed at 343, they should be the ones that are coming up with the design and the overarching decisions. I don't know how long those people stuck around, but like just contracting alone shouldn't really cause these issues, even though the whole premise of like heavily contracting kind of just sucks in general for people, since like it's just a way to like not pay healthcare benefits. But like that's a different discussion. We won't get into that here.
Let's not touch that.
we won't touch that here.
Microsoft since like 2014, and I've just never been able to, I've just been working as a contractor. It's really freaking annoying.
But are all the other games made that way? I'm assuming Call of Duty, they do the same thing. They probably have contractors on like every major game.
Yeah, well, game studios tend to kind of bloat when a game is about to be shipped out, especially for like the last year or two. They definitely blowed up, and then they got to trim up after the release. But now that games are starting to become like live services, it kind of warrants people to become more full-time employees and sticking with the game and stuff like that.
Call of Duty has a shit ton of studios and like
smaller
studios working on it. Like if you watch the credits for like a Call of Duty game, it's like longer than the freaking game. And it's like Activision Shanghai working on this part, Activision, I don't know, Barcelona working on this part. You know what I mean? Like there's just so much. They just have so many employees. It's hard. I don't know how much they rely on contract. It's probably still quite a bit.
Who does that come down to though? That like Microsoft and 343 aren't like poor companies. Like the money should be there to do these things if they want. And 343 does utilize like outside support, because there's a different company making Forge. There's supposedly a different company making a Battle Royale-esque game mode. So they are utilizing support studios. Like they've utilized certain Affinity and who's the Saber and stuff in the past pretty heavily to do a bunch of stuff for them. So it's not like it's not something that they don't do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then. Okay, I don't know, but like the Forge is delayed, right? Because the other company couldn't get it done. So like I don't know. That's also weird. But I guess MCZ was fixed by like a non-343 like a support studio, right? I forgot their name.
They were fixed by the company that made like Wolfenstein Enemy Territory. Who is that? The PC company.
It's like a UK
Couldn't
company.
tell you.
I forgot the name. Splash Damage? No.
I don't know. Someone in chat save us. But
I'd really like to.
Sorry, Nikos. What were you saying?
I'd really like to see. I don't know much about. I've never had a job in the background of software development or anything having to do with game design, but I'd really love to see, just so I could get an inside glimpse of what 343 looks like. Like I want to know what caused the issue. Partially out of just fascination. I just don't know what went wrong that makes it so difficult to where everything needs to be delayed. You know what I mean? Like
I heard
the game was delayed.
I heard it was the game engine.
This is still the same engine as Halo 1, right?
Correct. Yeah. It's not a brand new engine.
Yeah, it's the Combat Evolved engine.
They basically just kind of retooled the engine.
We got the swindle.
Like content development can be easier or better, but definitely not like optimal. Like I've seen multiple reviews where basically on like Glassdoor and things like that, and also just other various like news reports saying that like working at 343 is a good time, but then working with the tool set that they have is not that great. And it's just maybe just because like since you're working with such an old engine, like they're even talking about right in these development updates we had all throughout like 2020, talking about like they found like these ancient bits of code that they would, when they were scrapping out the engine, they try to optimize it a little bit better and things like that.
Right.
And I think that's really kind of what they just try to do is just make it so then like creating content isn't as bad as it was for like Halo 5.
I heard the original like vision for the game was like huge open world, huge everything, and like people told them, the management, you can't do this with the engine, and they just ignored that and tried to do it anyway, and so a lot of issues would pop up, and they would just have to keep scaling it back and scaling it back and scaling it back. And that's where a lot of the issues came from, because it was like scramble, like, oh no, we can't actually do this. We got to do something else, right? That's what I heard, and that seems to be an explanation that makes sense, because a lot of parts of this game just seem like, it's like half baked, or it's just like confusing about why they made this decision or that.
The UI drives me up a wall. Like, has 343 ever developed a good UI? Like, I've played MCC,
Halo 5 was
Halo 4,
fine.
Halo 5.
MCC is good now.
Halo 5, you couldn't even see the lobby, the big glowy letter. It was just hideous to me.
But
the rec menu. Oh, jeez.
On the contractor thing.
Go ahead.
Like I agree with what Arash said. Like the decision making obviously is not made by contractors, but like again, the person who maybe made the UI or like you know what I mean doesn't work there anymore, and that's why they're having so much issues, like putting in the single playlist or changing this in the UI because someone coded this, right? And then like the person that coded it maybe isn't there anymore, and they don't understand how they set it up. And I think that's that's what I meant earlier.
You know what it is, Luke?
About the causing issues.
Like normally that is a thing, but it's not a problem with the contractor, because somebody else. Well, 1 second, guys. Keep going.
Okay.
Well, no, I was just wondering because, like, I mean, if I tell someone, code this, right, and then they don't work for me anymore, but they didn't fully teach me how to change their stuff or understand their way of coding, because I'm sure that's different.
Yeah, there's always like that. 3-6 month ramp up for each employee when you bring them on, that they're not going to be as efficient as a seasoned employee. That's just how things work in real life. But
and then you add that they don't understand the engine at all. So it's like compounded. It's like a new contractor, and then nobody even knows what the other person did because nobody understands the engine.
But I think we're kind of not mentioning one key aspect, which sounds really obvious though, but it's like, I think obviously COVID played a huge issue when it comes to the development of this game, because like literally in like the most crunch time, the last year of the game before it was about to release, once in a century pandemic hits, and like they probably lost months worth of work, and a lot of these developers all had to go work from home, and not every one of them has like a high-end PC that can develop Halo Infinite. So they probably also had to work out that, and they probably lost like at least 6 months worth of work because of the whole situation. And then even when they were able to get back into the office, that we saw in that August development update, like there was like a handful of people in the studio working, and then they all had people on like a Zoom call, Teams meeting through webcams, looking at screens, and telling me, hey, wind that back, kind of thing. Definitely not optimal when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like I was even surprised in 2020 that we even got like a Call of Duty that year for Cold War, because like for just how scuffed everything became because of that year. So they and then we didn't really see any kind of content whatsoever for Halo Infinite until 2019 with that Discover Hope trailer, because at the 2018 trailer was really just more like a recruitment tool, like show you like, hey, we got a new engine, this is our idea of what we have for Halo Infinite, come work for us, kind of thing. So I mean, I think what you're seeing in the game probably didn't really start getting developed until like 2018, and then 2019, and then 2020 hit and just messed everything up.
I think you're right. So. Yeah,
I think we should be a little fair with them. I mean, not completely, but I think that's a really good point, Kev, because COVID was just a nightmare in general.
Yeah,
to work through.
And the most crucial time for this game to release, and then COVID hits.
They still got the extra
even when they could, they were like, it's like breaking your leg right before a race, and then it heals up. And you're like, well, it's still kind of broken, but I can run.
Plus, you got to get reconditioned because you probably lost all the endurance. So they probably got back to work, and they had to get everything back up and running. They had to get them in. They just had to understand how to do it all over again. Like it was like the Great Reset in some ways.
But then people were like, well, then they delayed the game because of that. I'm like, yeah, but you could definitely tell even before that, like when the July revealed that in 2020, they were like, yeah, it needs more work.
with the Craig trailer, as I like to call it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm glad that happened. We're in the best timeline right now, boys.
Here's the thing, and like
I guess
this is like we made a video on this, right? And like when we made this video, people like kind of hated, or like I don't know, fucking people just shit talked us. But after they showed the first multiplayer thing, right? I thought to myself, like they didn't really show anything. These were like such little content, right? And I was like, they don't have much content ready for this game, right? And like, I mean, I guess that turned out to be true when like, I guess they put a focus on campaign at some point during development after the Craig trailer. And then I don't know how, multiplayer might not have gotten the same love, because I thought the campaign was pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Like I didn't have any issues with
fantastic.
Campaign. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say, like, as a whole, the campaign is probably in a lot better spot than the multiplayer is, just with all the issues and the lack of content. Like, there's definitely like parts of the campaign that were underwhelming to me at least, but like the campaign felt like a finished product, where the multiplayer feels like we're still playing a beta. Like, we're playing a very
beta,
buggy
right?
beta. I mean, is it still in beta, or are we
They
still
said,
calling this a
when
beta?
it released on November 15th, they called it a beta. Have we seen any major update?
I mean,
No, it's
Oh, they-
still
no,
so
technically
like
an
it's
update.
still a
It's
beta.
still technically a beta.
Yeah. Just
I mean,
XP
like, I don't
gains
know.
and
You know what I mean?
store changes.
yeah.
Yeah, but like if a like I don't know, if like an early access game on Steam doesn't get an update, it doesn't all of a sudden go out of early access, right?
You know,
There's like some major updates. So I don't know.
I'm starting to wonder if there's a reason why it was free this year. I'm starting to wonder if they were just really trying. They were going, okay, we have a bit of a lack in content. Let's try to get this out. We'll charge for campaign. And honestly, I'm happy I bought campaign. Like, I really enjoyed campaign. Sure, the writing kind of crumbled towards the end. Like, you never got to fight Aatrox. I was like, well, that was just a pointless setup in the beginning. And then you had the main villain, and I was like, I don't even know who this chick is, but okay, you're dead now. But I mean, it was a great campaign, and I enjoyed the hell out of it.
The thing is
But-
though, no co-op, I feel like hurt the campaign too.
No co-op, yes, and
Yeah.
I'm just, I just, it boggles my mind how co-op is overlooked so often nowadays. Like,
The thing
at least
is,
give us
like,
online.
it's not like I don't know. I feel like the campaign is accessible to people who have played Halo in the past, right? But it's not like I can be like with my friend, like I can hop on and like walk him through it, like you could do with all the other Halos, and that's how you usually get your friends into Halo, right? You play
Yeah.
some
Agreed.
campaign with
And-
them, and then like you know what I mean. But like you can't even do that with Infinite, and I feel like Infinite could have been a good access point for a lot of new people to like the Halo universe and like the lore and stuff. But I feel like the no co-op actually also hurt it a lot, like in
'Cause
relevancy
Halo-
overall.
I'm totally with you, because Halo is the couch co-op game. It's the LAN Xboxes with those old ass Duke controllers. You know, everyone gather around the campfire. It's Halo time. That's what I miss, and that's
Halo
again.
party, chips and dip.
There you go. And I am the casual. I'm just like the common man for the people. You know, I play Halo for Forge, for theater, for custom games, to hang out with my friends. You know, it's just a good time. And that's why I enjoy making videos for it. But it's a little disappointing to see that community is just overlooked so severely. Even the theater breaks. Like, every other
The
film I
theater is
run,
terrible.
I run one film, it works. The second time I run it, it says you don't own this film.
Yeah, you have
Check
to
your
relaunch-
online status.
you
You have to relaunch the damn game.
Yeah,
The amount
it'll
of
kick you
times I did
offline.
that. Oh man, it's so bad.
Mhm.
And if you're offline, heaven forbid, your Wi-Fi goes out. No Halo Infinite for you, baby.
And here's the thing: they cut out all this stuff for the casuals, Forge, campaign co-op, and then the competitive also sucks, right? Like the more you play ranked, the more you
Oh,
hate
it's
the game, the
terrible.
more you don't want to play the game. I literally, I played ranked was fun at the beginning. I had fun, but then you start to realize the desync issues. The ranking system doesn't make any sense, right? Like how it
No.
penalizes people, how it gives you like a rank up. It
It's
just
so
doesn't make any
random.
sense. I was
There's
able to
no-
hit Onyx, which like is a testament to how like non-working this is, right? And like I don't know, it's just like weird. So like they cut out the stuff for the casuals, and then the stuff for the competitive people also sucks. And like the more you play it and the longer that lasts, the more they hate it too.
Dude, what,
It,
So,
what-
like-
it really is tragic.
what's crazy is like obviously you touched on it. Like desync's atrocious. That makes it really unplayable. The servers are dog shit. Like
Terrible.
I've actually never played a multiplayer like a AAA game with worse servers than this game. Like
No, me
you
neither.
have to have like fiber internet on like some god connection to be able to play this game normally, or else you just get like terrible desync. You jitter around the map. Like it's you get terrible hit reg. Like it's probably like the most online Halo ever in the world, where like obviously we're all playing online because of COVID. And so like that has obviously hurt the competitive scene, but also like, dude, they brought in esports engine and like get like obviously like, you know, they're getting back into the swing of things and they're using Faceit a lot, but they have just choked HCS time after time after time. Like we're 3 weeks into the weekly FFA tournaments. on Monday, they had to cancel the FFA tournament 3 rounds in because it got so fucked up and they were advancing the wrong players. They couldn't fix it. They just had to cancel the whole
It's just
tournament.
unbelievable. That's just like literally unbelievable.
It's just poor management in all regards everywhere. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand how literally every aspect of the game and its community can be just so busted. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, it just started not DDoSing, it started doxing its players like 76 did.
Oh god.
Like, I would not be surprised.
I don't know why the Halo 5 servers are so much better. Like they're butter smooth.
Wait, they did dox players?
No, I'm saying that's what's going on with BTB, right?
Yeah. So let's talk about that.
Wait,
Wrapping
what?
back to Luke's point about the casual experience being dead. BTB 2.0 was supposed to be the big game mode in this game. Now, we can argue if I actually think BTB 2.0 is that great, or if it really was supposed to be the big game mode, or if it was just kind of something shoehorned together at the last minute. That's a different topic. But how is your title? We had like an entire trailer talking about how BTB 2.0 was going to be awesome. How is it broken for almost 2 months?
I don't understand. That's what also boggles my mind. It's like, it's so confusing. It's like, imagine if, like, I had to make a vehicle tier list, right? Because I make the tier list. People like them, I guess. But I made the tier list for the vehicles. It had to be completely campaign in Fiesta. I couldn't use the vehicles.
Or even then, though, you're probably using vehicles more often in Fiesta than BTB.
Yeah, the BTB spawn system sucks, but that's like... that's a different topic. Like, I think that's personal preference, but
for days.
Yeah, I don't.
It just makes me mad. It makes me real angry because I want to enjoy this game. I want to enjoy Halo again. You know, all my friends stopped playing it. It's just, I mean,
so what are they playing now?
The thing is, the friends that I could get into it for their first Halo here, I don't know, they didn't enjoy it for more than like 2 games either. You know what I mean? Like, Arash, we played with the Hayden and Justice, right?
Yeah.
And like they don't touch the game. Like, there's no reason to touch the game for them either.
Yeah.
And to write on how they cuck the casual player base, there also isn't like a third mode, right? Like, you know, as much as I didn't like Spartan Ops, at least Halo 4 had Spartan Ops. As much as I didn't like Halo 5 Warzone, at least it had like something there, right?
This game needs one of those. Yeah, it doesn't need to be that specifically, but it needed.
No,
something
or like just something like that, right?
Yeah. It needed...
And then like, I don't know, something like PvE with like your friends. You know what I mean? Something like that, maybe.
Yeah, or even just something like new. A lot of the problem with the multiplayer in this game is if you're not playing it competitively, nothing in this game is doing anything new or unique. It's game modes that we've had since 2004. Like on very few maps with bad servers and like a poopy progression system. So like all of the reasons that you would grind a game if you're like a casual player just honestly aren't there. Like
also there isn't like you can't just level up, right?
Yeah.
In the battle pass through playing.
Well,
I mean you can kind of, but it's capped, right? Where like I don't know, the game like at the beginning told you how to play. You had to play how the game challenges were, or like there was no progression for you, which also was kind of weird. But I guess that's fixed now a little bit. I don't think it's perfect still, but I mean I don't know.
Yeah, I think
that's probably but like I don't know, when was that fixed? Like late December? I don't remember.
Yeah, I want to say like mid-December maybe.
Mid-December, but that's already a month in, right? They probably already like lost a lot of people. So I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Some of those choices just made no sense to me, but I don't know. I mean, someone thought those were the right decisions, so I guess at least they stuck with them, but I don't know.
Oh, and real quick, just get the elephant out of the room. No, a battle royale would not have saved this game.
Oh, I think actually when Arash was saying this needed like a mode, like something new, right? A BR would have been perfect.
I think
like it would have been new. It would have been somewhat exciting.
Yeah. So
like
good battle royale.
People might have been around more. Yeah, sure, a good one.
If it was just a copy of Warzone, it wouldn't be good. But if they did like a Halo way to do it,
I mean,
that's one thing it would have to be. It would be like it had to be unique to Halo and provide some different kind of gameplay aspect rather than just being like 100 players, last man standing wins. You know.
But some unique knows that you have shields, and that's Halo.
I mean, yeah, I think I think it could have
Test
just been a
shields?
copy and probably would have been interesting still.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah,
the
I
I
same
think a
we
VR would be
guns,
awesome for this game.
the gunplay is
Um,
still good in this game too. I mean,
Don't
it's
you
like better
guys-
than Call of
You guys
Duty.
played the Halo 5 Battle Royale that I did, right? Kevin, you came to that
Yeah,
one, right?
I was there for that. Yeah.
That was a
was
lot
fun.
of fun. That was
Yeah,
a
it
hell
was
of a lot
awesome.
of fun. So there's no way that you can't. You should easily be able to make a good.
Yeah,
Halo
if they
and
could
I
do
think
it
that-
They got
We
the
don't-
attrition ring. They got the ring set up, and
Yep.
then like you can like activate equipment when you want to, which would be needed for a battle royale.
Yep. And the equipment.
And all you need to do, really, and the equipment would be great for it as well. All you really need to really do is just, probably help just even reuse the campaign world and randomize some, weapon spawns and circle placements, and you got yourself at least like a bare bones battle royale.
And like,
Of course,
It
I would
would've
like
been-
to have a little bit more than just that, though. For if
why
Halo were
can't
to
it
do
just like copy Call of Duty? Like, we don't fault the game for like Slayer is
Right.
basically just team deathmatch, right?
Exactly.
Like, we don't fault the game for just copying team deathmatch, right? Like, BR is just another mode that would have been
Oh no, there's
new
nothing.
to
Well, I wouldn't
to-
say that Slayer
Stronger.
copies like
And they
Team
can
Deathmatch though, because
well,
you still have like
it's
power
not
weapons
original.
and stuff like that.
It's
Yeah,
not
the
exactly
mode
Yeah, but the
itself is
concept
different.
of, like,
I mean, it just copies
a
Quake Team
kill
Deathmatch.
score and then a kill score and then like you respawn. But
that seems obvious, like that doesn't seem like something like inherent to a product. Like,
No,
oh,
no.
you should buy our game. We gotta get kills to win meter.
no, but I'm saying like a BR could have just been a copy, and I mean they could evolve it over time. But
Possibly.
I think
The
I think one of the biggest issues that this game has, and you touched on this, Luke, but like if you go back all the way to we'll go back to Halo 3. Every Halo game since Halo 3 has launched with a grand, like, cool new game mode. It's launched with like all sorts of new stuff, and this game just doesn't have it. Like BTB 2.0 in theory was supposed to be it, but A, it doesn't work, and 2, I don't think it's not a new experience. It's just BTB again with slightly more players.
Okay, more
Like,
players. That's
3
literally
maps,
not.
and with
nothing.
3 maps.
Like,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
when I
also,
first saw that
that's
BTB
another
reveal, I
thing.
was like, when I first saw that BTB reveal, I was just like, well, like BTB's great and all, and I do love it. It was probably like my second most played mode behind like Slayer or like whatever ranked mode there is. I would play BTB, but like even then, I'm like, well, I've played BTB. A lot of people have.
exactly.
Halo,
And like it was like Halo 3, Forge was brand new. It was huge. Reach improved upon Forge, gave us Invasion, which was like it's a whole new thing for Halo, and it even had its own maps. And then like Halo 4 came out, obviously it had Spartan Ops, but it also had cool game modes like Dominion and stuff, or like it was trying new things. Halo 5 obviously had Warzone, which was supposed to be its big attempt at something innovative and new, not necessarily new to like gaming, but at least new to Halo. And Infinite has none of that. All of the game modes that launched with this game are playable in previous Halo games, and I think that has been
Barely
the big
playable.
that has been the biggest issue with this game. We have been playing Slayer, Oddball, Strongholds in quotation since that came in Halo 5, but like we've been playing all of these game modes for years. None of this is new, and all of these game modes are great for your competitive scene. None of these game modes were going to hold casuals long term. BTB was the only hope, and it's not that good, and it's broken. So like I don't know what the thought process was here, and that's kind of I wanted to transition into the next point on kind of like what you guys think is the main reason we've seen these huge player base drop offs, these huge viewer drop offs. I mean, the game, like we talked about it a little bit earlier, where we talked about the Xbox numbers, but like. Well, just speaking in facts, the Steam player base alone has dropped like 90% since the game dropped. The Twitch numbers have fallen off a cliff. If you go pull up like YouTube numbers, and that's a little bit harder because you can't like pull all of them up. You have to pull up specific YouTubers, and like January into February is supposed to be like a worse month anyways on YouTube, but like YouTube numbers have fallen off a cliff. Nobody wants to play the game. Nobody wants to watch the game. Do you guys think
hard
it's
to make content for it?
Do you guys think it's a content issue, or is it a progression issue? Is it just issues with the game in general? What do you guys think is the reason that we're seeing like obviously there's correlation between the reason like the player base is dropping off a cliff, the viewer base is dropping off a cliff, like that stuff, it's all connected together, because if people don't want to play the game, they're not going to really watch the game in their free time either.
It's a community thing entirely. It is.
I think it's a mix of like no content, right? Like when are we gonna see the first map? Probably like not before May, right? Like the 1st new map, and then we'll probably get one map and it's like 11 maps. Halo 3 had like the first map pack like 2.5 months in, right?
Are you for real? It was only 2.5.
I think
we're
so.
already there.
So like old. I think at this point, Halo 3, for example, already had a map pack, with like which is like 4 maps, right? I think season 2 is gonna launch with like 1 map, maybe 2. But I feel like there's a lack of content. There's a lack of like, fun modes to play with your friends, right? BTB is broken, no co-op, blah blah blah. We already went all over that, and then also, I mean, in the last 10 years, Halo has kind of become irrelevant compared to some other AAA franchises, and I think it's just a mix of that.
I will also say that maybe just like Halo being a 20-year-old franchise has that kind of going against it. I mean, also with the Twitch numbers and stuff like that, like I really kind of compare it more to like other games that are like Respawn 4-player versus or 4 to 6 player versus 4 to 6 players, arena type game modes, and those really don't do very well on Twitch. Most of it's like battle royales or other kind of game, or like Escape from Tarkov and stuff like that have much more of like a intense kind of crescendo to the match in a way, which is something they kind of like mentioned about like doing with attrition, which like because honestly, like unless you're like watching like a top tier pro, you're not really there to watch the game on Twitch. You're there just because like you want to like talk about Halo with someone else who's playing, unless you're watching like Lucid stream or something like that, That's kind of one thing it has going against it. Where like that's where it could use like a new mode of some sorts that would help expand the horizon of people who like to play Halo. Because we pretty much just got like I remember it was like Jeff Grubb talked about this like before Halo Infinite's like launch. When the leaks saying like we're going to get like a Halo game, and it kind of feels like that, where it's like it's nothing like nothing new, too revolutionary or anything that are really trying new things out. It's really just kind of more like taking what is good about Halo and just kind of like doing just that, and not really trying anything crazy with it.
And yeah, and I think the game like it's like made for hardcore Halo fans, I guess, right? And there isn't
only
really
hardcore Halo fans.
It's like but it's like people that already liked Halo playing this game, and there hasn't been this evolution of like trying to pull like or trying to make a big change or come up with something new that will pull people. And like Call of Duty has reinvented itself like a couple years ago, right? Huge blow up.
Warzone.
Blackout, and then into Warzone.
Warzone.
Yep.
Like Halo just hasn't done that, and I was or many people were expecting this to be it because this took like 6 years to make, and Halo 5 kind of sucked, and like it just wasn't it. And then like I don't know, it's just not relevant. It's just not relevant in the gaming space.
I agree with you completely. And dropping off a cliff, for the series to drop off a cliff for like 8 years, I mean, attention's gonna wane, and then they're gonna be woken up like, oh, what? Halo's happening? Whatever.
Yeah,
because they haven't played it.
Yeah, it's kind of like they released Halo Infinite, and they're like, yeah, it's Halo, like again, but like good this time, And everyone's like, well, yeah, I've played Halo, and I've made my decision whether or not I like playing the game or not. Like, I don't know how really the population numbers worked when it came to Halo 5, but I feel like the population drop off, or at least the interest, was a steeper drop off in Halo 5 compared to Halo Infinite because of the gameplay of Infinite being so much better. But like I said, like it's kind of like a Halo game, and
Halo
there really
5?
isn't anything that's like exciting and new about the game. It's like if you liked playing Halo previously, you'll like playing Halo Infinite.
Halo 5 also was kind of fucked with like being on the Xbox One, right? Which was like a failing console, kind of.
Yes.
And then like I don't think the story was any good in Halo 5. Multiplayer was okay. Forge was probably the best we've seen in the series, but it also was after launch, right? Forge
came for like 44 days after launch. Forge came in Halo 5 before the year ended. Like at this point, we would this game, we could say it started beta November 15th. I think we would have Forge by now if we were talking Halo 5. You also have to look back at Halo 5. Yes, it was on a failing console. It was a console exclusive. That definitely hurt it out the gate. It was also a Halo game that did try and shake everything up. So obviously that was going to hurt it too it could either hurt it or revitalize the franchise. And there was a lot of pushback against the actual gameplay of Halo 5 where you don't hear that as much in Infinite. But like, comparing, and I want to do a video on this, I just haven't got around to it, but like comparing what we got around the launch and like the 3 to 4 months after Halo 5 dropped versus what we got at launch for Infinite and the 3 to 4 months that are like since launch, it's night and day. Halo 5 had so much more support. Halo 5 was ready to be a live service game. It just was on a failing console, and it just maybe the gameplay wasn't good enough. Whereas like Infinite, in theory, the gameplay is there, but this game's not ready to be a live service game. Nothing's coming. All of the changes since launch, and you know, we can talk about COVID for this, but like there's nothing there. Like I don't know, like I don't think they could have delayed the game anymore, but the game needed to be delayed more. Like
it needed to be, yeah. And again, like
they could have launched campaign first and launched multiplayer later.
Yeah.
They could have totally done that. And I mentioned at the beginning, community is like the biggest reason, because Halo is the community, and it seems like 343 has designed this game to completely break any sense of community. Between theater not working, you can't post screenshots and films like you used to. There's no file. Is there file share? I don't even know. There's no Forge, lack of maps, lack of modes. It's just a huge lack of allowing friends to play with each other and allowing you to have a good time together. And the biggest tell for me is you go into BTB and they didn't even think about, oh, if they're in the same party, they should all glow green for each other.
Yeah.
No, it randomly throws you into random parties because it was an oversight. Honestly, probably. Maybe they just couldn't get it to work, but community is the biggest thing that makes Halo so huge, between just all the screenshots that went viral, all the videos, the Forge modes, the Forge maps, you know, those were classic. And I mentioned that a Battle Royale couldn't save Halo. If it was done right, it would help it, but with all the bugs on the same engine, would you play a really bugged out Battle Royale? Would you play that? No.
People play PUBG.
No, but it's like
no. I'm being serious. I think if the gameplay is like fun, people put up with a lot of jank when it comes to like
PUBG is still jank as fuck.
Yeah, and like
I play Infinite.
And also, but like here's the thing: like if they launch a broken BR, okay, I might have faith in them fixing it because this is something they have never touched. But they launched broken Slayer, broken BTB. This is shit they have done for like 10 years, right? And it's like they couldn't get that to work, right? So like. You know what I mean? I don't have any hope in, like, if they can't launch like the basic modes that Halo had properly, like
there's no way
I can't forgive them. But if they launched a broken BR, I would have maybe forgiven them more, or like people would have been more forgiving, right? Because this is like new.
Yeah.
Do we know?
But like now they don't see it. I really didn't see it happening, and I'm just floored. Like if they're gonna do a battle royale, I hope they're hearing this and they're like, oh crap, they predicted our strategy. We're doing a battle royale. Drop into Zeta Halo, make it like make it the campaign map, whatever. Port it in, make it easy. But put like AI enemies, put the elites, put like the brutes and the grunts, and have them carry power weapons. Like maybe there's an elite general with like a rocket launcher and energy sword,
like it did in the campaign.
Exactly, and two players will try to compete. They'll go, oh shoot, I got to get that power weapon. I got to go kill that elite, but watch my back, you know?
They could literally make that and just copy like Hunt Showdown, and then you got like a Tarkov-esque mode, right?
Yeah.
It could be really good.
There's just so much potential, and that's the sad thing. They just like don't capitalize on the potential.
Of course, then though, if you release that mode, you got like the other half of the community being like, well, my portion of the game that I really like, and you're gonna take away development time for my portion of the game and stuff like that. You know?
Sure, but like at what point? Like, you know, obviously this is like a hypothetical scenario, and we don't know if the numbers would have looked better, right? We like, you know what I mean? This is all just speculation. But like, at what point, you know, would the numbers have spoken for themselves? You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, but like anything 343 does, like the Halo, like someone on Twitter will be like, why are they doing this? Like someone will complain.
Someone will complain.
Someone's always going to complain.
That's always.
Someone's always going to be upset and rage and take to a Twitter civil war and start everything up, you know. But I mean, I look at things subjectively and all that, and I try to be fair with Halo. Like I was fair with it when everyone was saying it was dying. I was like, no, it's not. There's still an active player base, but it's really in trouble now. But with someone who's really fair and objective with something, like I must say the worst type of game for me isn't a bad game. It's a disappointing game because you want to like it. You want to play it, but you just can't, you know? And It really does kind of suck.
Sorry. Angry Joe put the multiplayer for Halo Infinite number 4 in the top 10 most disappointing games of the year. But then he also put Halo Infinite number 2 of the best games of the year as well.
I mean,
because it's
really
a
many
depressing
contenders.
Year. Have you played Vanguard Battlefield? Like,
Battlefield 2042. Oh, baby. I want to play it when it goes free to play.
Yeah,
I put like 40 hours into the game. Pass. I didn't think it was terrible, but like Vanguard, that shit was actually just not fun. I don't know.
Vanguard is just fucking reskinned Modern Warfare 2019 with a World War II.
Which would have been fine. And like maybe I'm putting, but like I don't know, they just took out weird things too.
Yeah, but so like
and Warzone
to loop back to Kevin's point earlier, where he said like in terms of like viewers and stuff, like respawn shooters haven't really done well in a while. What was the first thing? I think that there's hunger for a good respawn shooter. Maybe it wouldn't do amazing on Twitch, but like every time there's a new respawn shooter, the numbers do well at launch, and I feel like that players would stick around and play these games if they did them well. But every single game has problems. Like we saw Splitgate have its huge pop off, but at the end of the day, like Splitgate's at the time was made by like 5 people, and they couldn't even get people into the game. So obviously people kind of gave up on it. Halo Infinite, like you're just talking about it. The biggest problem isn't that this is a bad game. I would say I love this game, but it's starting to just frustrate me. But like, I really enjoy what's there in Halo Infinite. The biggest disappointment is just we're just watching it flop before our eyes when like this game could have done something. Like maybe it wasn't going to be Halo's grand resurgence to being the #1 video game franchise, but it definitely could have been better than the game that's going to be at like 10K on Steam in 3 months. Like we're talking like MCC numbers at that point. Like, and that has to be a gigantic failure for a free to play AAA game to even head in that direction at this point. Like someone has to realize that. Well, I mean, I'm sure they realize that they've kind of flopped the launch. But anyways, wrapping back, like what was the most recent respawn shooter that's been like truly successful? Like Overwatch?
Yeah,
probably Overwatch.
Overwatch was like mixed with the mobile though.
Call of Duty Modern
Modern Warfare 2019.
2019 was successful.
Cold War was more successful even.
I barely played Cold War. I kind of hated it.
Yeah, but Cold War I think is the most successful Call of Duty now. I'm
really?
not sure. Yeah.
Most of the COD community hates Cold War.
Well, it's because they got Ronald Reagan to reprise his role as Ronald Reagan in it.
Yeah,
of course it's gonna sell.
But I mean, like the thing is, Modern Warfare 2019 obviously brought Warzone, right? And then Cold War evolved Warzone. But like, if you played the game itself, it actually had like fun new modes. Like Modern Warfare 2019 gave us like gunfight tournament, like everybody 2v2, everybody sponsors the same map. There's like a tournament mode. I played hundreds of hours of just that. Then Cold War gave us like fun modes like prop hunt or like, you know what I mean, stuff like that. And that stuff was fun too.
I would just play gunfight for hours.
Yeah,
and I would get real competitive with my friend.
With Vanguard, they took out prop hunt and they took out gunfight. You know what I mean? Like, and they fucked it. You know what I mean? Now the Vanguard is like, I don't know. I think they're really struggling.
But
they put gunfight back in Cold War.
But the storytelling in the campaign, dude, you got to get on that campaign.
Campaign was basic as fuck. I could have written that shit.
But, anyone could have written that shit.
I mean, 2019 Modern Warfare was actually had a really good campaign.
I love that campaign. It was well designed.
Yeah, and I mean, next year or like next Call of Duty probably is going to be the sequel to that, and then we'll see how they do that. But I don't know. I just feel like besides Vanguard still tried to invent a new mode, right? Champion Hill. It's just not that fun.
Oh, I tried that. Yeah, that mode's weird.
But like the last 3 Call of Duties had like something unique about them or something that evolved the franchise.
Yes,
and that's why Call of Duty is like more relevant than ever. Because I feel like Black Ops 4 was one of the lowest points. No campaign, multiplayer was like, I don't know, budget Overwatch, and like Blackout was restricted by not being crossplay and like kind of dying. And then like Modern Warfare 2019, you know, banger game. Cold War, I mean, you know, sure people hate it, but like it's still the most successful
succeeded.
one. Yeah, and then Vanguard, you know, Vanguard kind of shit, but they still tried.
Got me to buy the game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, same.
I'm the only one who hasn't played COD. Like, I don't play COD at all. Am I the only real Halo fanboy here?
Wow.
I don't play any COD,
I feel attacked. I'm about to delete all my Call of Duty uploads
I haven't
right now.
played any of those games.
This is a weird thing to me. Maybe this is because I grew up in Germany, but for me, like Halo was never a contender for Call of Duty or Battlefield. It was always Battlefield versus Call of Duty. That was the like debate at the lunch table, right?
I mean, dude, that
like
hasn't
Halo
been a
was
discussion
Halo
since,
was
like,
just like but even in 2010, even when like Halo 3 came out, I remember.
Oh yeah, like was it
Battlefield?
I think you brought it up earlier, right? Where like it's really kind of like a North American based kind of population that plays Halo.
Yeah.
I mean, you got people like in the UK, you got like a Mexican population as well, but that's really about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, yeah, I mean, we still
well.
played Halo and stuff. It just never like I don't know. It was just like something more fun with friends than like an actual like I don't know. It was always Battlefield versus Call of Duty. I don't know why.
I think Call of Duty is more relatable. I think that's why it's a bigger franchise. Halo's like space guys, you know, whereas Call of Duty it's like the military.
So.
I think
But,
it's
like,
a lot more relatable.
I don't know, like weird ass like how I mean Fallout is hugely popular, right? Is that relatable? Like
Is
living
it?
in a
I
wasteland?
don't know, man. Like League of Legends is one of the biggest games. Valorant's huge. Like Overwatch was huge for a while. None of those games are relatable. They all have like weird fucking. I mean, weird in quotations, but like none of that is like you're not gonna walk outside and see like Diva walking around in a mech
But they're
suit.
not shooters. When it comes to a shooter,
those
it's
are
like
all
you want to
shooters.
be
What do
a
you mean?
soldier.
Valorant
Oh well,
is a
League of
shooter.
Legends isn't, but like Valorant and Overwatch are shoot. Well, Overwatch less so. It's kind of like a MOBA light, but like Valorant's a shooter.
Well, also like Call of Duty more than Battlefield, but Battlefield as well. They're both like kind of easy shooters. Like you don't really have to worry about anything besides like yourself and shooting stuff that's in front of you. Where like in Halo, you're constantly juggling like we're grabbing new weapons. What time of the power ups are coming up? Oh, the guy killed me only because he has a rocket launcher.
That's
I didn't
the
have a chance to
problem,
grab
though,
that kind of
man.
stuff.
That shit didn't used to matter, dude. Back in
Yeah,
Halo 3
because it
or
was kind of
Reach,
standard back then.
nah, back in Halo 3 and Reach, there was so much shit you could do between social and customs and everything. You could be poop at the game and still have
a good time.
and have a
my
fantastic time playing Halo. The
Yeah, but
problem
then you
is
gotta take
now,
time to learn the game.
yeah, you don't need to like really learn the game to play like to play casually. You don't need to learn Halo. The problem is that the only gameplay in this game is competitive. Even social is competitive. Like all the game modes in social are ranked game modes with different weapon spawns. Like
Where's my griff ball?
Yeah,
That's why
that's
people
where is
like
my
Call of
griff
Duty more because you can just pick it up. It's a lot easier.
yeah. So I agree
It
with
has
your
a big
point.
learning curve.
Yeah, the current Halo Infinite does have a huge learning curve, and I think that's a huge
Oh, yeah.
problem.
And
Yeah,
well, yes, maybe, but like I don't know. League of Legends has a huge learning curve.
does.
Valorant has a huge learning curve. Apex Legends has a huge learning curve. I don't know if the learning curve is like indicative of like how players will react to it, because
Not
like
always.
if the feedback loop or like I don't know, people will get more addicted if there's a learning curve sometimes even, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like something else has to be wrong.
I mean,
and-
Dota's one
I
of the
mean,
biggest games in
Fortnite's
the
like-
world.
Fortnite's like one of the hardest games I've ever played. Shooters.
Yeah.
Like it's incredibly difficult, but people,
Yeah,
you know,
the
it's
people
like
can
one of
build
the
like
most
apartment
played.
complex.
Oh,
people
yeah,
build, like apartment
true.
complexes in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fortnite
I mean, I
does
think
Fortnite does a really good job though with like the ramp up. Like you launch that game and it uses skill based matchmaking, but like you legit just play bots. Like you can play that game without even being able to aim, and then it also has creative mode. Creative mode is huge for Fortnite. Like plus it has all the skins that people collect that are actually cool. Like think how many more people talk about like. This would be a bad example, but like the Ariana Grande skin, like, oh, cool. Whereas like Halo has the Anubis skin that you buy. Like none of this stuff is exciting people. It's just Halo skins. Like, yeah, we like them. They're cool Halo designs. They're just Halo designs. Like
That's what it comes down to. Infinite is not like a trash game. It's just getting outcompeted. You know, Apex gets updates constantly. Fortnite every day. Warzone. It's really just the market is saturated. You know, especially when it comes to shooters, it's just very competitive. It's very competitive. People want updates constantly.
Yeah,
I think that's
Halo
what's happening
needs
to us.
updates.
Plus,
and the thing is,
updates.
yeah, Halo
I mean,
needs updates desperately, and we're not gonna see anything till May. They just delayed the roadmap, dude. They're gonna I can't see them delaying season 2 till like.
Bro,
next
can we
week.
talk about that? Because at this point, like, why would we not expect season 2 to be delayed further?
Yeah, I mean,
it's supposed to be 3 months away, and they can't even speak about it. They can't even speak about
you
it.
made me lose total hope in the game. I think it's. I
just want to be realistic.
The gravity just hit Nico.
I'm just sick of getting played, Nico. Like, you know, like God, like the whole thing is just like ridiculous.
Battlefield 2042, one of the most broken games to launch, right, has posted a roadmap today where they're like, I mean, it's not much,
exactly,
right? But at least they're like, we're gonna do this, this is gonna be done. And like, I don't know how you have to delay that, like,
because they don't have it ready.
This better be like a 10-page TED talk breakdown, like every hour, every employee stamping in what they're gonna do.
What are the odds it will be? What are the odds? Like that would be so out of character for 343 to come out like next month and be like, "Oh, season 2, you guys have no idea. Tons of maps, tons of everything." Like, there's no way, dude.
No, it's gonna be like season 2 will launch May 2022, maybe, and then you know, there'll be a launch map. There'll be a map at launch and like a new battle pass.
Guys, Way Forge comes out this year. I just can't see it, man.
No,
no.
It's not.
It's gonna be next year.
I see them coming out with an announcement, guys. We got an update for the roadmap, but before we get to it, the entirety of 343 quit. It's just Kiki, Wolfkill, and I programming on our Atari 2800. More updates to follow. It's just ridiculous. It's absurd, and
we've been tricked too many times.
We've been bamboozled.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, there's so many clips from the Halo Infinite like VidDocs alone where like shit just isn't true that they've said.
Exactly.
How do we not have an anti-cheat in a free-to-play
anti-cheat? Then
anti-cheat.
The whole thing about the engine where they pretended this was gonna be a big new engine, right? But then there's a clip where like you can definitely, one of the developers is like talking about how this is like an evolution of the PLM engine or whatever it's called, right? And then you can immediately see one of the community managers just backpedal for him and be like, well, actually, this is like new and new. And it's obvious that this was just like a marketing ploy. And they just dropped the marketing. They just dropped the marketing. Yeah. And they just dropped it.
Just a rebrand. Yep.
Yeah. They just dropped it too. Because they realized it was like pointless.
How are people going to react, man? How are people going to react when season 2 just is like a disappointment and there's no Forge till next year?
Yeah, like the 20,000 people that are gonna be left are probably gonna leave too.
No one's gonna be left, man. There's just, I'm sick of like having hope. Look at what happens. They just constantly like delay everything.
I'm gonna be the last man standing.
That's the most annoying thing about this game. It's always, oh, just keep waiting. That's like as a Halo fan. Oh, just wait. We need another year to make Halo.
Another 8
Don't worry, it'll be great.
Yeah, in 6 years this game might
be good. Just wait for this and wait for this. Like, I'm so sick of waiting. Like, we already waited 6 years, and now we got to wait another year probably to get Forge, and you already know that's going to be scuffed when it comes out.
Kids,
there's no way.
Kids who entered middle school, they got Halo Infinite. So kids who entered middle school at Halo 5, they graduated high school when Infinite came out.
Bro, let's just cut to the chase. Let me ask the question. Is it time for Halo fans to move on?
Oh, jeez.
Like, honestly, like, are we ever gonna be happy with this damn thing? I'm just so sick of waiting.
I don't think.
I'm really
Halo fans have never been happy with Halo, though.
The thing is,
you know, Halo 5 was decent. It was decent.
Halo 5 was still enjoyable. I put 12 days into that bitch.
What are the hopes?
Let me ask you this. 343, they dropped Halo 5, and it had mixed reception, but there was people that fucked with Halo 5, and there was people that loved Forge in Halo 5, and there was people that loved Warzone. Why did 343 abandon Halo 5 after like a year and a half just to work on this and not even finish the game? That's what I don't understand. Like, most other companies, you work on your previous live service game while you make the new one, but 343 just abandoned the last one, so we had no content other than MCC coming to PC, which was also kind of poopy at first and eventually got a little bit better. But like, and it's just like,
we're always behind, bro. Like, all right, Halo Infinite should have came out in like 2017. Like right after Halo 5, they should have taken all of our feedback. They should have iterated on Warzone, and Halo Infinite should have come out in 2017. And then you have a live service Halo like now, like today. Like, it should have been out 2 years ago. They should have hopped on the Battle Royale bandwagon like everybody else. Like, it's always,
Halo would have been competent.
We're always behind with Halo game. Even Halo 5, like that game should have been out years before. Like, even when that game came out, I think the reason it flopped is just it was just kind of late. Like, 2015, not even a couple years later, you have, you know, was it H1Z1? You have PUBG, you have Fortnite. Like, you have the rise of like battle royales.
Yeah.
H5 was one of like the last advanced movement games to come out. It like missed the boat.
Yeah,
well,
so missed the boat, bro. We're always so behind, and now we have a broken live service game with no big, large-scale game mode. Despite the fact that all the most popular shooters have, you know, Fortnite, Apex, Warzone. You know, all these games have a big mode. Even scuffed Battlefield 2042, they had the sense to put
Portal.
Hazard
they had
Zone
the Portal
in there.
mode.
No, they also had an Escape from Tarkov
Hazard Zone
mode.
is fun.
Yeah.
Hazard Zone, I thought was pretty fun. It's just kind of half baked, but I kind of liked it. I played a little Battlefield 2042. I thought Hazard Zone was decent. You know, it was kind of half baked, but the point is, like, it's just like we're always so behind with Halo. It's like, damn, dude, we gotta wait probably another year to just get this game fixed. And then, you know, they leaked that we're gonna have a big game mode that's supposed to come out from Certain Affinity, but I'm hearing like 2024. Like, dude, can you imagine 2 years from now? Like,
Dude,
no one's gonna care. They're gonna be playing GTA 6.
I think 2024
the thing is,
thinking of was the
oh, this game will be fixed and GTA 6 will drop, and nobody will give a damn.
We'll be in our
GTA
mid-30s.
6 is the next Fortnite. I'm calling it now. Like, that game is gonna be fucking crazy, dude.
Let me throw this out there. All of these games that we're talking about are mostly multiplayer shooters. Like, some of them have campaigns, but like clearly no one cares about them. Is the fact that Halo Infinite insisted on this grand campaign part of the problem?
No, because GTA campaign is still hugely popular.
True.
Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't know. Like, was it like 2 years ago that meme blew up and shit? Like, GTA is just relevant because GTA 5 is good in all aspects, right? And like, if a game is truly good in all aspects, it's say relevant for years. Like, GTA is relevant more now than ever, right?
Warzone is still relevant. It's a good game.
Yeah, Warzone is in the worst state.
Warzone's huge.
Yeah,
Warzone has been broken for years, and it's still like,
yeah,
but it's still
and then
very
like
popular.
The thing is, Vanguard is dog shit. But like, next year we get a new Call of Duty, and people just move on. Well, just forget about Vanguard. It's fine. Like, I don't even care. You know what I mean? Like, next year's might be better. Maybe like they'll do 2 bad Call of Duties in a row, but then maybe the third one will be better.
You know,
there's just always like new shit coming, and like you can at least like look forward to something. Where like the stuff in Halo we have to look forward to is like the roadmap that is now delayed, right? Like, what am I looking forward to? Like, waiting for the roadmap.
News about the news. Facts.
Like, I can look forward to a roadmap next, maybe, and that's it. And that's
nothing.
We have about to get real meta on this shit.
I wanted to mention
we're in
as
shambles.
Well.
Let's just be honest. We're in shambles, bro. We waited 6 years for this shit, and we have nothing right now. We have nothing to look forward to.
Yeah.
And our best like educated guess is Forge, maybe like next year. Like that. Like this is.
But
speechless.
Or
it's
was
probably
it
gonna be shitty.
What Luke was that they brought that up about saying like if campaign really affected the development of the game and stuff like that. But like yeah, but either Rash or Luke, one of you guys mentioned that. But I was saying that like it's important for Halo to have a good campaign.
Oh
though.
yeah, I think
like it was good because I think most of the time when you get like game companies or review companies reviewing games that they really kind of judge the overall score of the game by the campaign and like the multiplayer is there. If it's enough stuff to do in the multiplayer, they go, that's good. I don't play it, kind of thing. That's kind of how most reviewers go, and that's why like you see Halo Infinite with like 9.5s, 10s.
I don't disagree with you, but is that the wrong? All right, I think that's the wrong way to design a 10-year product. Your 10-year product shouldn't be the better part of your 10-year product shouldn't be a campaign. That's one play and done.
Wait, I mean,
this is a 10-year product.
This is supposed to they told us this is a 10-year product, and then from what we can tell from the product we were given, they spent all the dev resources on the campaign. That seems like a blunder to me. Probably is bullshit. Most of the things they've told us is bullshit.
I heard there will definitely be a game before 10 years. Like, there's no way.
How is a game called Halo Infinite so finite?
It's like, it should be called Halo Infinite.
Let's just be honest. I love the campaign. Like, I really enjoyed it. but they should have just phoned it in with the campaign. Just build like another linear Halo campaign.
That's what I'm saying.
People would have been happy with that. Just get that done, knock it out, and focus on that multiplayer. Get a big mode in there, launch with like 20 like good maps, tons of stuff. Like the campaign just definitely took up way too much.
Why do we have to compromise though? This is a huge company, Microsoft, right?
Yeah.
They can get it all done. They can just get it all done. Activision every fucking year.
$70 billion.
Activision would never cut out zombies or a mode like that, right? They just hire more people or like get a support studio and get it fucking done.
It's true.
You know what I mean? This is one of the
from
biggest companies. They just bought Activision Blizzard for 80 million. Just hire more people and get it done.
Make Activision make Halo. Get Activision on this.
It doesn't matter. Like also like, you know what I mean? Get more support studios. Get like support studios that can actually get shit done.
I think people are covering their ass, man. I think I think people made some bad decisions, and like people are just trying to keep this thing going over there, because the truth is that, like, I think from what I understand about this game, I think the only way to fix it, or rather fix Halo, is they need an all new engine built from the ground up for Halo, for the future, that can build large scale game modes, and they don't have that. So until we get a new game mode, new game engine, I think Halo's always going to be held back, and I think that's why Infinite is such a mess. I think it comes down to the engine, and somebody should have made that call years ago, and they didn't. And so it's like, how do you fix that? It's like somebody's got to go.
Yeah,
but I hate getting into that territory because I just don't like talking about people losing their jobs and stuff like that. It's kind of sensitive, but the fact is that there's obviously been some blunderous mistakes made on, whoever decided like, oh, let's just go with this engine and just keep this going. Like that really, I think, is like the biggest problem with the Halo franchise.
Yeah, and also another thing, them marketing the engine. Like, I don't care if the game has a new engine or not. Like, how is that gonna affect me? Like, are they gonna print it on the back of the box? All new engine. Like, I don't give a shit.
Nobody gives a fuck about the engine.
Like, I don't know, Frostbite 5 launches. I don't care. Unreal Engine 5,
Most
I don't
people
care.
don't even know what an engine is.
Did you hear about that new game? It's got that engine,
Yeah, like...
Why, bro? Why? I don't give... What? Nobody in the history of gaming has ever said that. Yo, bro, we gotta play this new game. It's on that new engine. Never. Ever.
I mean, I feel like it used to be maybe a thing.
Did until Modern Warfare.
Yeah, they used to be a thing,
like I said, I'm not a COD. I'm a Halo fanboy. I've never played COD, so...
Call of Duty, for the longest time, Call of Duty fans were like screaming for like 10 years to get a new engine in the game.
Not gonna lie,
that's because it just felt outdated. But
yeah, it was very outdated though.
Yeah,
it needed
and
it.
They did it. I mean, we got.
Do you guys play that? How do you guys play? I played Warzone for a little bit, and like it was just like a camp fest. Like it just drives me nuts.
I mean,
I just can't take it.
Yeah,
I need my shields, bro.
You just gotta yeet it, You just gotta sprint around like a madman. Just pretend you're one of those big streamers that plays Warzone on like fucking hyperspeed
with your hacks on, obviously.
So interestingly enough, like getting back to the whole like battle royale topic, like Titanfall 2, shout out to that game. Friggin' love that game. But it was released at a bad time because EA is really smart, and it kind of flopped a bit. Like it didn't fail totally, it just did not sell what it should have. But then Respawn reorganized and they made Apex in the Titanfall universe, which shows, I mean, it's not associated with the game, but it shows that you can, like, 343 needs to be on top of the current trends. They don't need to blindly follow them. Like, I'm not saying just make a Warzone clone. I mean, they need to be with the times while keeping that Halo feel. Like, the gameplay is...
and they didn't do that.
Yeah.
It's but if you even mention Halo Battle Royale, you get, like, tons of, like,
oh my god,
Halo fanboys. No, they'll only be
sure, they can go play Halo 3.
So annoying.
They're probably gonna do that anyways. Like I don't know. Just go play Halo 3 if you want to play Halo 3. Like, okay, it's accessible now more than ever. Same with Halo 2 and Halo C. Like, just go play that.
I mean, I would play one if it was unique in Halo. If it was Halo,
Yeah, and I mean, like, there's no shame in that. I play games I've been playing for 15 years or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, on a daily or weekly or whatever, right? But like, just Halo needs to reinvent itself, or like should have reinvented itself with this game. And I think
you made a great point with that, Luke. Like the whole how Call of Duty successfully reinvented itself through iteration, and it went through some bad versions, I guess, but like eventually they got to where they are now. It's just undeniable. Halo didn't do that. It didn't. There's just no way around it. It started to with Halo 5 with Warzone. Like, imagine they had spent the last 6 years just iterating on Warzone. You know, maybe actually like more into battle royale. It'd be fucking awesome. Yeah. But instead, it's just gone. Like, I can't believe
Warzone. Warzone was such a cool concept, and it was just held back by a shitty microtransaction system that was like kind of meh. But there's no reason that couldn't have been iterated on and fixed and turned into this cool, grand PvE, semi-casual, big-scale mode. But yeah, instead they just throw it away to give us 4v4 competitive Halo again.
Yup.
And I mean, like, I feel like I don't know why Microsoft didn't put more resources into this game, or if they did put a shit ton of resources and they were just wasted. But like, I feel like Halo has been replaced as Microsoft's like main franchise. I feel like Forza is more relevant, for example.
Is it really?
Bro, they just bought Activision.
The thing is, and this this triggered me more than like or like, I don't know, when they did the whole like Xbox reveal last year, right? They showed like 8 minutes of Forza, right? But they didn't show like barely anything of Halo. And it was just weird.
I remember
and
that.
They could have they ran their own show. They could have just put it in the show, right? Made the show 12 minutes longer, put the multiplayer thing in there, right? It was just so weird.
I don't think people, so I wonder, after that came out, I remember you guys made a video on it. I think like I talked about it, and like people like vehemently disagree with this statement. I don't think Microsoft gives a fuck about Halo. I think they're fine. They're fine with it existing. They like the brand name. They like Master Chief, but they don't actually care if Halo is successful because they no longer need it to be. It used to be their console seller. They now own Activision. They now own Bethesda. They don't need to. They don't need Halo in the slightest. They don't even care about. Yeah, they don't even care about consoles because now their whole thing is Game Pass. So
and that's on PC. Yeah, and then everybody did they got like. Let's say they take what is it called, Starfire or whatever, the Bethesda game, Elder Scrolls 6, Starfield, or Elder Scrolls 6 away from PlayStation players. These players will go buy a computer, right?
Yeah.
And then they're still gonna be using Windows 10 or Windows 11 to play the fucking Elder Scrolls. Sign up for Game Pass. Like they won. Like they don't need fucking Halo anymore to sell like a console.
Halo at all. Yeah. I completely agree. And that's what I'm worried about. That's why I asked that question. Like, is it time for us to move on? Because it feels like, I don't know, maybe 343 will pull a rabbit out of a hat and fix this game, but it feels like Microsoft's like, it feels like some greasy executive is like, oh, Halo? Yeah, just keep mining it, just sell it out. Make as much money as you can from it. And if it flops, who cares? As long as we make some money. That's how they're treating it. That's how it's being treated.
I think you're kind of on something there, Luke, as well, saying that like Microsoft doesn't need Halo to succeed anymore. I mean, like we've seen Halo pretty much at like the lowest points since Halo 4, even actually really during Halo Reach, when the downfall really kind of started, and then until now even still that like Microsoft has been growing. They were able to buy out Activision, and now they own like 2/3 of gaming. And with Halo, which used to be like the reason why Xbox even had a foothold at all within the console wars back in the early 2000s because of Halo, but now like maybe just they people demand a Halo, so like, okay, we'll give you a Halo, but like we're not like super invested in it or something like that because they know that it's just not going to be a console seller or being like the reason why people come to Xbox. It'd be like reason, but not the reason.
I think
the 6 years there's been no Halo. My Xbox is bigger than ever. It's grown like crazy in the absence of Halo.
Yep.
They don't need it.
I think in the Xbox One generation, Microsoft learned their lesson of banking on Halo because Xbox, like the Xbox One, the original Xbox One was like the low point of Xbox until like toward the end when it started ramping back up, obviously. And that's because it was at the start of that console generation, it was still heavily leaning on Halo, and Halo 4 flopped, MCC was broken, Halo 5 flopped. Like, and after you see that time and time again, you realize like, what's the point in putting our money, and not necessarily money because they still put money behind Halo, but like what's the point between putting all of our attention behind this when we can diversify and have a much healthier portfolio? And then if Halo kind of wants to dwindle away or it kind of just wants to do its own thing, it's whatever. I mean, think how many like big franchises over the years dwindle away, and I think we're seeing that before our eyes. I think Infinite is this like, I don't think Halo will ever truly be dead, but like
No.
I
I don't think it'll ever be as alive.
At this current rate, if 343 doesn't have like a mega resurgence, Halo's just another Quake in like 2 or 3 years, where like it's extremely niche. Nobody in mainstream talks about it. The game still exists, but nobody cares. Like it's a memory of the past where occasionally you hear people like, oh, like they should bring back a new Halo game. That would be cool. That will be what Halo will be in like 5 years if 343 doesn't fix this, because, and I don't even know how they fix it at this point, because I don't know if Infinite is the platform that has the ability to fix it with where we're at now. There's too many holes in Infinite. And the fact that they once again went so heavy on 4v4 competitive when, like, did someone, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love 4v4 competitive in Halo.
Sorry, I had to get some hopium. Arash, you're killing me.
Like that's my shit in Halo is 4v4 competitive. But like, dude, the writing on the wall has been there since Halo Reach that 4v4 competitive isn't the play in any game. Like any respawn shooter, 4v4 competitive isn't the play. That hasn't been the big thing in Call of Duty ever. That's why Activision famously doesn't put in any focus on competitive, and that's why CDL and everything like that, they fend for themselves and they make their own scene. But Halo 5 and now Halo Infinite are super competitive focused, and like, dude, that doesn't appeal to casuals in the slightest. Like, there's a reason nobody plays this game, or nobody's gonna play this game, and it's like I don't know how we remade all the Halo 5 mistakes again.
Yeah, the esports is a problem. Like Fortnite, it's like the worst game ever for esports, and that's why I think it became so popular. Like everything about it is like the antithesis of esports. It has a big esports scene, but it did not blow up because of the esports. It was just something fresh, new, and fun. Like esports is what comes after you make a fun game, right? Like that's how the original Halos were. Like Halo 2 and Halo 3, like the MLG was built like on top of it. They did not come out the gate. Like Bungie was very against like competitive gaming. And when you build a game esports focused, it's either going to be a huge success like Valorant, or it's going to be Halo 5 or Halo Infinite.
And here's the thing with esports, like pandering to that, I think Halo Infinite, or like Halo in general, is too basic to be enjoyable, really. Because like I feel like the big esports are like the games where like a lot is going on, right? League of Legends, Dota, right? There's like shit going on. It's not like, oh, he pushed a connector and headshotted him with DBR. There's like actual shit going on. And like I feel like shooters in general struggle with that esports thing. Like the only shooter I feel like is enjoyable to watch is Rainbow Six Siege, because there's like abilities going on. Maybe Overwatch, right? But like just pandering to the esports scene on a base ass shooter, I don't think is the play. Like nobody wants to watch it. It's not that enjoyable after like seeing the same thing over and over and over again, right? And there's not like gonna be like huge updates to change the meta, right?
Well,
like
that's
something
weird. HCS did well though. That's what's weird.
I meant comparatively to like
it.
The other
I think outside the events. Like HCS did amazing, but on a regular night, nobody's watching Halo.
But that's what I mean, though.
Do you think Anaheim even gets near Raleigh numbers, though? I think Raleigh numbers were boosted due to like that was the first Halo event in years, and it was supposed to be. It was the new Halo game. It was supposed to be this grand resurgence, and there was a lot of hype behind it. Dude, I don't know if
Anaheim remember the crashes.
Oh yeah, it was
terrible. First freaking game on stream.
I don't know if Anaheim hits 100K. Like Anaheim will still do like numbers compared to day-to-day Halo, and that's like you said, that's because like the actual esport itself is fun to watch as opposed to like watching a streamer play ranked over and over and over, and that like gets back to the same point where it's like the esport shouldn't be the only focus, but like right now it kind of is. Like if you go through the category on Twitch, here, fuck it, we'll do it right now. If you go through the category on Twitch, all of the top streamers, hold on, it's got to load. Category on Twitch.
Pros.
All of the top streamers are playing ranked. Formal, ranked, Lucid, ranked. Snipedown's playing campaign. But this dude playing ranked.
Snipedown,
like if you scroll through it, like it's a bunch of pros and ex-pros or just people like playing scrims. Like most of these people are playing ranked competitive, whereas like you can only watch that for so long, and the problem is there's nothing else for people to stream. Like, I don't expect Lucid to, if let's say there was a Warzone 2.0, I don't expect Lucid to stream Warzone 2.0 on a regular basis, but other people would. You would have like a variety of content creators, whereas right now all of the content in this game is focused around competitive, because campaign already had its month in the sun. Like, you can only do so much with a Halo campaign, and we're already past that point. So like, now it's just the multiplayer, and the casual multiplayer experience is nowhere to be seen. So it's just people playing ranked over and over. And we already talked about all the issues ranked has. It's not even an enjoyable experience as a player, because the ranked ladder is poop. There's desync. If you actually get high ranked, it's littered with cheaters because there's no fucking anti-cheat in a free-to-play game on PC. I don't know who the fuck thought that was a good idea. Or if there is an anti-cheat, it's like so easily breakable, it's irrelevant. Like, I don't know.
We've awoken angry Arash.
Mic drop, explosion.
And the thing,
bro, the custom games don't work. You know, I've set up so many MCC like game nights with my community. I could easily fill out I can barely get people interested to come to like game nights anymore for Halo Infinite, because they know it's just not going to be that fun. Like, it's just broken, doesn't work. Like, that could be, it's like, you know, Twitch should be like filled with custom games, like fun custom games. But it's like, it's not even fun. It literally doesn't work.
And
custom games right now, it's just like, now we're playing with skewers.
And like the co-op.
Over the past 2 years, what are some of the biggest indie games that blew up on Twitch? Fucking Among Us and Fall Guys. You're telling me that Halo couldn't have done that shit if we had support for it? Easily could have created like cool, fun, streamer-centric. Yeah, well, Tarkov's like a little bit more like competitive, but like,
that's an indie game.
Oh, okay, sure. Okay, sorry, but my point was like, these mini game-esque games or these like social games have exploded on Twitch, and Halo in previous games, like if you go play Halo 5, you can make all sorts of cool streamer-centric, content creator-centric like game modes, but none of that's in Infinite currently, and it's just like you said, that what are you gonna play in customs currently? Like, let's run around with amped up movement speed and skewers. It's like
this was like done in Halo. You could do this in Halo 2, right? This is like Halo 2 custom
done
games
it.
15 years ago, 17 years ago, and
it was awesome back in the CE.
Yeah,
that's about it.
I made Infection.
Another thing, and I mean, I'm gonna say it again. I'm really salty that they didn't include co-op, because like, we can go on Halo 3, like stream at like 4 a.m. in the morning, do Halo 3 without walking, right? Throw grenades at our feet for 2 hours, right? Or 3 hours, and people like, there will be like 60 to 100 viewers just watching us do this random ass shit on this fucking 15-year-old game, right? But we can't even do that for Infinite. You know what I mean? And it's just like, there's just no creativity or possibility for anyone to come up with anything cool. Right?
Oh man, I need some hopium. You guys want some hopium? I got some hopium.
Pass me the hopium, Sean.
Hand it over.
Right, here's the hopium.
Pass it around.
I made this point in a video.
Oh, that shit's good.
Is it not true that it is a proven business model, not with all games, but with many, that you can launch a broken game and fix it, and it will end up working out in the end? There's been a lot of games that have launched broken, then they're fixed, and then they become a success, like Sea of Thieves, No Man's Sky. It doesn't happen to all games, but Halo is such an old franchise. It just has these people that just refuse to play anything else. There's a lot of people that are going to come back as this game gets updated. Like, even if it takes a year or 2 years, like, there are a lot of people that are going to show back up. And so I do think there's a reasonably good chance that this game could be fixed. I think it just might take a long time. And again, it's because I do think launching a broken game and then fixing it is a proven business model. I think that's why they do it. They can get away with it. They basically have the public, all their beta testing for them for free. 343, they know everything that's wrong with this game now. And we did it for them for free. We did a massive test for them. Now they'll take a year. They'll get it done when they can. And then they'll fix it, And then, again, because Halo's just so old, kind of repeating myself now, I think a lot of people will come back. Look at this. This is the first Halo game in 6 years. It had a massive launch, because people just that's the thing with Halo fans. Like, look at us, we're sitting here talking about it. It's like, man, it really is almost like a religion. Like, Halo fans just do not want to move on, and I don't know if it's like an age thing or something, but we just refuse to give up, and I think we refuse to give up because sense. It's like, come on, like Halo could be like a top 10 thing, you know, like it could be so popular. And Infinite, people really liked it. Like they really liked the gameplay. Yeah. So it showed, like it gave us the hope. It was like, look, everybody likes it, but where's the live service? Why are the servers screwed? Why are there so many cheaters? So I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I say a broken game is a proven business model.
Well, I mean, I definitely lived through the broken game patch service like thing the whole time. Like I remember back when like Battlefield 4 first launched, I was super hyped about that game. That game was busted as shit when it launched, and then like the entire year was just about fixing it. And like actually, I remember there was a point we were talking about earlier about the whole desync thing. I was wondering if like with the servers with Halo Infinite, if it's not even like an issue with the game, but maybe just like the tick rate on the servers is just too low. Because I remember having the same issue in Battlefield 4 where you get like shot around corners or shot before you even saw somebody kind of thing. And that's because they were running like 64-man servers on 20 hertz, which is like updates 20 times a second rather than you would expect 60 times to kind of keep up with the frame rate of the game traditionally. And that's why
it should be 120 tick servers at this like in 2022,
should
right?
be. Well, that's like it should be and like shouldn't be at the same time. Like Call of Duty still runs on like some fucking low ass tick rate, so I don't know. It depends on the game. But yeah, Sean, you were correct. It is a proven business model, but it's also a business model where you play with fire.
Sure, we can talk about the success stories, right? No Man's Sky, whatever. But like, how many games have failed? How many games have failed too?
Yeah, there's so many games.
We don't even consider them because like they became irrelevant because they just failed.
Yeah,
right?
There's so many.
Well, what's some games that have failed? Like
Lawbreakers, Battleborn,
Sunset Overdrive,
Overwatch, probably another year. Like
Overwatch is
Quake
not doing
Champions.
It's like none of those
what's
games
wrong
have
with,
like that
hate Overwatch.
I think Quake Champions has the fan base.
What happened
Quake
to Overwatch?
was a flop game.
Quake was
a flop.
Overwatch
Quake Champions flopped bad and it never recovered. I mean, it's still going, but like you're talking like 2K on Steam.
Oh damn! No, that's a flop.
I mean, not every game's gonna
Doom 2016 multiplayer, like that was supposed to be a live service, and they updated it, and then they just abandoned the multiplayer once Eternal came around. So like, and obviously this is just like AAA games I'm naming off the top of my head. Like, there's so many other like. You're correct. Most of those games don't have the IP that Halo has. Arguably, Quake does. But Quake's success was well before Halo's success, so it might honestly be too old at this point. Same with Doom. Like, and I feel like Doom, they pivoted. Doom did what Call of Duty did in the smartest way possible. Was they realized they fucking hit that single player out of the park, and they just pivoted that bitch straight into being a single player game, and then they just tacked on some weird like asymmetrical multiplayer mode for Eternal. But like. You're playing with fire. I mean, there are so many games that have made that resurgence, but like there's also so many that haven't. Also, like the Artifact card game from Valve, that was supposed to become a live service game. What about the Amazon game that just came out, Crucible? Like a lot of these games just get straight up canceled and abandoned, and you don't even think about them because they just like literally they fail to exist 6 months after the drop off, right? And what recently got shut down, Hyperscape. Like on a monthly basis, there is one of those AAA games that you
Scavengers,
that you forgot about because it came out, it had some initial hype, and it fell off hard. You haven't thought about it in years, and then it just gets shut down, and you don't even think about it. Oh, what was the Ninja Theory game that got shut down like a year ago? That was supposed to be like a PvP fighter game. Fuck, what was that called? But anyways, you get the point. So there's tons of games that have launched badly and they just die. There are also games like the success stories. Bleeding Edge. The games that you talked about that have definitely made resurgence. I mean, one of the biggest shooters to this day, Counter-Strike Go, launched like dog shit. And
it was terrible.
One of the worst. Yeah. Dude, I remember I was still on Source for like 3 or 4 years after the like CS:GO launch because that shit was not playable.
Yeah, it was one of the worst like attempts at a sequel that we've seen in years, and they revived it. But a lot of these games, like I don't know. You were right, Sean, and we can speculate whether we think
sniffing
Halo
hopium, bro. You're right too. I'm sniffing hopium. Do you guys think Halo? All right, so let me ask: do you guys think Halo Infinite will like make a comeback, or will it really just die off and be like an MCC situation where it's fixed, but it's still like statistically irrelevant. Like, let's be honest, MCC is like statistically irrelevant. It gets nothing on Twitch, and then the Steam numbers are like, yeah.
I would say that I wouldn't expect it to really have like a boom back. I'm pretty much expecting like this whole year is gonna be a building year. I've just kind of gotten used to this at this point with like Battlefield, MCC, or just really any kind of shooter out there, or like literally any kind of Call of Duty you ever play. The first year of it's terrible, and then they finally fix it, and then the new game comes out. But like, I guess I'm just kind of conditioned to this, or like Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 also had this issue where like the first year of the game kind of sucked. Then after that, did really well after they fixed everything. So I'm
like I say conditioned. Sorry.
Yeah, I feel like I seriously feel like I'm conditioned because I'm like, it's just another shitty year launch, and then wait until next year 2 comes around, and then it's going to be great. And that's kind of how I'm thinking with
running psyops on us.
Here's another thing.
It's true though. We are conditioned to just be like, okay, I guess I'll wait another 2 years.
Okay, yeah, I guess I'll just wait a year. But it's I mean, that's what I feel like Halo Infinite's gonna be like after this year, like that rumored Certain Infinity mode comes out, whenever the hell that is. And if a battle royale that does come out, once they actually mess up the customization, fix up the store a bit. Add some more custom, fun modes in there for people to play that will actually stick around for more than 2 weeks or something like that, and in some better form of progression and stuff. Just there's a lot.
They feed us pig slop, and we're just like, all right, fine.
And I mean, like, but like, I do have hope for this game because like we have all agreed that the core aspect of Halo Infinite is amazing. It just needs a lot of work, and then once it gets to that point, which I'm assuming it's going to be a year-long process to get there, then people will kind of start coming back and have a much more solid experience. But it's not going to be like a season 3 drop and everyone's back playing Halo. It's going to be kind of a gradual thing over time.
Okay. Realistically, I think. Do you want to go ahead, Luke?
No, you go ahead first.
Okay, appreciate it. I personally, Hopium. Hang on, let me take a line real quick. Okay, so. Anyway,
I took a big whiff before saying all that.
Being realistic, though, let me take a snort of realism too. But being realistic, one nostril hopium, one the other. Anyway,
might steal that. Sorry.
Go for
just
it.
Rocks, dude.
Just go for it. I'll pass the tray. Being realistic. I think the game won't.
Oh god.
Sean's going insane with the Infinite news. Not another shop video, please.
I'm making another one.
Baby, I got 3 in the works. I'm waiting, Sean. But realistically, if they don't release something that's like Warzone level of quality, then I guarantee you that the game won't be dead. I don't think Halo Infinite is dying. Well, it is dying. I don't think it's gonna die. I don't think it's gonna be totally irrelevant. But I think when they add new stuff, some players are going to leak back in. But it's never going to get that 20 million launch day that they had that everyone remembers so fondly, unless they can create something viral, such as Warzone or Among Us. If they incorporate something that truly gets everyone on a core level. I don't understand what they would come up with, but I hope. Let me get some hopium again. I hope it works. I really do.
Okay.
If Forge
that's definitely some hopium. We just need some revolutionary mode from 343. Okay.
If Forge
that's
is
the only hope it's
could that be the mode that does it?
You're right though, Nico.
Not. I don't think so.
Here's the thing.
Hopium.
If you look at games that like kind of had a rough launch, they got constant updates, right? That are like that actually like doubled or tripled their play base. Like let's look at Rainbow Six Siege, right? Game didn't have a good launch, but then 3 months in, first season, then every 3 months content updates, new maps, new operators. Then like a year and a half, and they were like, "Oh, this game is kind of shit. We need to fix it." So they fucking just made a season called it Operation Hell, fixed the game, right? And like Apex Legends also like doubled or tripled its number, but it was constant updates, right? And like it felt like the game was evolving. Where like we're gonna get a season 2, and it's gonna be bare bones. The game is not gonna feel like it's gonna evolve. I think the content is gonna be too slow. I think the game will become irrelevant, and like I think it's only gonna get worse. And like the thing about like a new mode or something revolutionary, that's just like a luck maybe. Like that's like a 1% chance that I can actually knock that out of the park, right? They have to get lucky. At this point, like I think it's more luck than anything. I think the game is just gonna evolve too slow to become.
Yeah, they're moving really slow.
Yeah.
So
Well, they
definitely not
have.
Hopium
Now
right
they're
there.
moving slower, even slower than we thought. At first, like
True.
I thought like there was gonna be a new season after 3 months, because like that's already like I feel like sometimes too long for a game, like a 3-month season, right?
I agree.
And then it was 6 months, but now the roadmap is delayed. So like, what does that mean? You know what I mean? Like
It means they don't
I
have
totally
anything.
agree.
It means
Yeah.
they don't think they can achieve. I honestly believe if you delay plans, then your plans are not even ready. You don't have plans.
yeah.
I don't have
That's-
And
anything.
then yeah, I don't know.
I
That's the thing,
honestly
like,
think they don't know what to do. Like, what are they
The
gonna do?
Halo
They have
season's so like empty compared like in other games, a new season's like new weapons, new maps, new updates, you know, everything. Halo, what's season 2 gonna be if it's just like this season? Oh, new battle pass.
Yeah, it's
and
gonna be
couple
like
of
a battle
events.
pass with shitty skins, like stuff I don't want to unlock. I'm gonna have to like play like get 3 kills with the fucking shotgun on this map. or
Oh,
some
the
shit.
challenges.
Like I don't want to. Yeah, the fucking challenge.
They don't
that's not
reward
gonna
skill.
go away. Yeah, it's like I don't fucking want to do a challenge to unlock my battle pass shit. Like the challenges are horrendous at times. You know what I
That's
mean?
the
Like,
problem. Like Sea
you
of
could
Thieves was
get-
scuffed at launch, but like the core game was really good. The gameplay was good. It just needed more content. Halo Infinite needs the servers fixed. It needs It needs like a year of just like repairing what's already there before you can add more.
can
It's
they
very
even do it in a
concerning.
year? We don't
Sorry,
even
can-
know. We have
I
not
don't
gotten
even
an
know.
update. It's we're like 2 months in almost, right? In like 2 weeks. We're gonna
Yeah.
be 2 months in? No, 3 months in.
No
Holy
more.
shit.
No more. It's been at least
We're gonna be
it's been
3
like
months
11
in.
weeks.
There has not been a big update. There has been like some fucking minor bug fixes or some shit, or they made a patch and like it didn't do anything. Like
Didn't
there
do
has just
anything.
been nothing for 3 months.
Can we just laugh real quick about how they fucking came out and said BTB was fixed and rolled out the update and then had to be like lol JK? Can we just laugh about
Yeah.
that?
Imagine fucking Call of Duty doing that. Like I don't know. I've
Oh, what are
never
we gonna
seen
do if this new fix doesn't work? That's supposed to. I guess
Yeah,
it's not
can
coming
they
this week.
even
I don't
fix
think
it?
it's coming this week.
And that's the scariest thing. I still have this thought that co-op is just never gonna come because they cannot figure it out.
Mhm.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Oh,
I
it's
feel like
true,
they won't be able
though.
to figure it out. It's totally
I-
true. And
Can't
laughed
fix
a second.
BTB.
I laughed a
We're
second
gonna
ago
fix these
because
things.
I see in the chat someone said season 2 will just be more reach armor. and,
Oh no! Oh no!
God,
I would
imagine.
be out. I would give up.
Hey
I would
chat,
give up.
Yeah,
chat.
so
I'm passing the
to-
copium.
To go back like to
Sean,
go,
Sean's like 343 does not want to see my shop videos if that happens.
no, so
Sean, you've
All
got us
Sean
all
W
hooked on this
does is
drug.
make videos about the shop. Somebody stop him.
He
So-
must be stopped.
to go back to Sean's point,
All he
like
does is complain.
do I think this game can like have a revival? I think a lot of it comes down to if the seasons have anything meaningful. Like if season 2 is a battle pass, a 4v4 competitive map and like a BTB map and like some random game mode that we had in Halo 3 in 2007, I don't think that does anything. I think you get a little boost in numbers and then the same people just leave again. I think
It's
that'll be the biggest problem is like, yeah, like Luke said, a lot of these games that have had revivals had constant updates where they were constantly adding stuff, although there is the exception to that where like No Man's Sky just pieced out for a year. Final
Okay,
Fantasy
sure.
14 like literally just remade the entire game, so like
yeah, but I okay, and I mean like I don't want to disrespect anyone, right? But like the guy behind No Man's Sky, he has undeniable passion for his project, right? You can see that when he talks about the game, right? And sure, they fucked up launch, they overpromised, right? But like they delivered eventually, right?
yeah,
And they had a vision, they followed through. Final Fantasy, if you watch the vidocs on that game,
yeah.
the guys in charge, they like have there's just something you can feel. They have like passion for it, right?
Oh, shit.
yeah.
And like when I watch
feel
the
that.
and I don't want to disrespect anyone, but when I like watch the 343 vidoc, I do not get that same feeling.
They all seem
Right.
really. Everybody comments. They're like when we watch those little videos from 343 on the multiplayer before it came out. What did everybody say? They're like, damn, they look tired. they don't look happy at all.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe that's a studio culture. There's or I mean, maybe it's not even passion. Maybe it's like
exhaustion.
Happy.
Yeah, exhaustion because it's like mismanaged, right?
It's not working.
Or it's like, release a Halo game. You guys will play it and still hate it, whatever.
Yeah,
we're still the bad guys no matter what we do.
Yeah, and I mean that must be fucking frustrating after a while.
Yeah. And I mean, Vidocs for Infinite, they'd be depressing.
Yeah. In Halo Infinite, we made sure we really spent all of our dev time on the store. That's why I haven't seen my kids in 6 years.
I don't understand why everybody only talks about the shop. It's the only thing that works. It's the only thing that updates. It's
the only thing that
exactly.
Updates.
Yeah,
exactly.
What do you mean?
It's
like
the
only thing,
but it's gotten to the point where like
the shop is the game, bro.
Yeah.
I haven't opened the game in like 3 weeks. I have not played a single game in like 3 weeks, right? And I just go to Halo Tracker once a week and look at the shop, and then I'm like, oh, the skins are kind of shit. I don't even need to open the game. So like,
you mean you didn't do Cyber Showdown?
No, like
so
nothing. Yeah, I really want to unlock this shit for a fucking Mark 7 armor that I'm not gonna use.
And it's
then
misaligned.
Like,
it's misaligned too.
I have the fucking Cloud9 skin. I cannot equip anything with the Cloud9 skin.
Yeah,
I want to put a fucking kill effect on my BR with the Cloud9 skin. I can't. It unequips the Cloud. They're just like
that was
a
scam.
So fucking stupid how it's ever.
That's a classic dick move right there. That's a dick move. Yeah. No, dude, they're awful. They don't even tell you. They don't even tell you.
We live in a world where Call of Duty has more like progressive like microtransactions than fucking Halo. Like the bundles are still overpriced, but you get like 8 items. You can buy that shit at any time you want to, right? Sometimes they'll drop a fucking anime skin. Everybody will go fucking crazy, right? Like there's just like variety in it. You know what I mean? There's like a constant update of like content, skins, and stuff. And like they made a shop that updates once a week with like 4 bundles, and then like these bundles aren't good.
I was worried from day one when they were gonna do the free to play, like the customization, because like really think about it. What can you do with Halo? Like what can you sell? Like Fortnite, you can do the collabs, you can do crazy shit. Call of Duty, you can do all sorts of stuff. Halo is just a guy in armor, so it's like got to make the armor like really crazy.
I mean,
or charge for that.
Yeah, but the weapon skins, like they could like completely transform the look of the BR. Like you know what I mean? Like that's always possible. Like you can change the gun. Like
it wouldn't change the gun at all. The behavior, just the look.
Yeah, no, just the look, right? They can do that. And then like for the Spartans, okay, sure, maybe that's a little harder, right? But I don't know.
Somebody should be able to figure it out, though. Come on, there's some really good artists out there. Like, okay, right now, let's go. Everybody think of a crazy Spartan skin. I got one. What about like a hologram, like a ghost, like a new character model for your Spartan? You know, it looks like a ghost or something like that.
I think the problem.
I got a good one.
Here,
I got a good one.
Flood one.
Flood
Spartan.
Poncho Chief.
Poncho Chief.
Dude, I'd pay $20 for fucking Poncho Chief.
There's no Cortana AI. They did Mr. Chief. Are y'all on crack? What the hell? Like,
go ahead, Arash.
Cortana AI would have sold out. Everybody would be happy. Nobody even knows what Mr. Chief is.
I think
like,
the biggest
who's over there.
The biggest problem with Halo cosmetics is always going to be the actual Halo fan base. Like, think when we got those stupid fucking skins in MCC that like were, I don't even know what to call them. They were like medieval themed. And people blew a gasket because they had to look at a fucking medieval man in their Halo 3 game. Like the problem,
just like they used like Halo 4 armor in Halo 3.
Yeah, the problem is Halo, as the Halo fans as a fan base is they're so against what they determine as like change or inspiration from other video games. But it's like, guys, we're playing a modern live service game. Like it needs that shit. But it needs cool, wacky skins.
Why is that billion-dollar company giving a fuck about the people on Twitter? I barely give a fuck about the people on Twitter. Like, what the fuck? Like, sure, people can tweet about it. Oh, I didn't like this, or people can have their opinion. That's fine. But when did they start giving a shit about these people?
I think I think one of 343's biggest problem is they give too much of a shit, and you can see with the amount of stuff that they backtrack on. I don't think there's confidence in their vision. I think like
that's what I'm saying. That's like that passion, or I mean, I don't want to call it passion because there's a lot of passionate people at 343, and I know that, right? But it's just like maybe it's like confidence, I guess is a better word, right? Like just trusting in your your vision and like
You could even make the same case with all the stupid design decisions in this game. Think about how many of them they've already backtracked on. Now we can speculate like, oh, maybe it was all a plan to make themselves look good or whatever stupid shit we want to say. But like at the end of the day, they put out their design. Everyone hated it and they backtracked on it, right? Now I'm going to agree, like the store is stupid. The progression system is stupid. Like it is stuff they should backtrack on, but like this is just a common trend, you know, whether it was MCC or Halo 5's entire design premise, like they put out this game in particular just feels like it's a game trying to please as many people as they can.
That's what I see a lot of.
Well, that's what it needs to do, though, to get like more than just like Halo fans playing it.
I have to say though, the cat ears sold like crazy. By the way,
they did.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Sold crazy.
Yeah, the cat ears I feel like is probably the most selling skin because it's just something like unique, and like that's literally not a fucking reach armor for $20 that they cut out of the battle pass to sell for $20. It's like the biggest scam. But like I don't know, the cat ears were funny. Like if they like I don't know if they just sold reactive camo for the guns, people would fucking buy it.
Dude,
you know what doesn't have like a strong leader. I feel like I like Joe Staten and all, but like he's been so passive. You know, like who's that? They need that person over there that's been like one of us. It should be one of us, right? That can come out and be like, I know what Halo fans want.
Yeah, I only live like 40 minutes away from the studio, so
yeah, put Kevin in there. Put anybody else instead of Joe Staten.
I mean,
he's so like bland. I feel like Bonnie Ross. You never hear anything from her. Frank O'Connor. He only shows up when the TV show comes out. It's like, who's that leader over there who's like, all right, everybody, this is what we're doing. I don't want to hear it. I don't care about what people are saying. Right? Like this is what we're doing.
Shut up, nerds.
Right? We're gonna make the best game. We're gonna make the best game. We're gonna put Battle Royale. But they don't want Battle Royale. Shut the fuck up. We're doing Battle Royale. Get it back there. Like put me in, coach. Like, where's that person?
Yeah, here's another thing. Like, I mean,
all right, Rash.
Joseph Staten, I feel like
get that out.
Okay, I feel like Joseph Staten probably is the reason Campaign is okay, right? Like Campaign is good.
I feel like he saved Campaign.
I feel like he did that, but like he couldn't save everything. But then about like Frank O'Connor, I remember like a while ago, this is like a year or two ago, we were in a call with some modder like that hadn't played Halo or like hadn't played the new Halos, right? We talked to him about like the state of Halo, and we're like, yeah, Frank O'Connor is in charge, and he was like, Frankie, the guy that wrote the community post, he was like very confused. And like, you know what I mean? I don't think Frank O'Connor has the fucking vision to like, you know what I mean, get Halo off the ground.
No, well,
but somehow he's in charge.
Clearly, no one does. Like, that's not deniable. Like,
and like, how much money do you think they had to pay Joseph Staten to even come back? Because I doubt he wanted to do it. Because he had like his own projects going on, right? He probably was passionate about that, and that's fine.
He was.
He moved on.
If I understand right, he was kind of helping ship games, and I think he helped ship Flight Sim. I think he went back to 343, and you know that's kind of where he like grew his career, Halo, and he probably was like, "Yeah, I think I'll stay here." I think they're probably like, "Hey, do you want to stay? We need someone."
We got a fat royalty check for you.
Oh, I was under the impression he didn't want to go back, and like they had to pay him fat money because like when you watch him talk about no, he meant he worked on Tell Me Why and stuff. He like produced games, and like if you watch his stuff,
like some kind of like
a Microsoft executive. His job was to come in and just like help ship the game like towards the end, and he was bouncing around from game to game. Halo Infinite was just like the next one. Then I think he just decided to stay.
I mean, is he staying the 18 months or not? Right?
Yeah, you know he's staying. I mean, he mentioned it in an interview with IGN. He's like, I don't really see myself going anywhere anytime soon.
Okay. I mean, that's maybe that's good. That's actually a little bit of hopium, maybe. But like,
there we passed it on to Luke. Now he got a little hit. Now it's game
on. Now you got me hooked. No, but like that maybe gives me hope that there will be a campaign DLC.
Well, there definitely will be. I know there is.
When?
It's just I think it's gonna take a year or two.
Oh, a year? I feel like it's.
I heard like 2 years. Sorry.
Yeah, and that's way too late.
It is way too long.
Yeah, that's when you put out a new campaign.
That's when you put out
a new game.
Yeah, that's not when the DLC comes out.
I feel like just like put me over there. Like I'll be like, all right, what's going on? Can this be fixed? I'm like, well, it might take a few years. I'm like, all right, just stop. Just stop. Let's just come out and tell them, look, this game is scuffed. It's done, Halo fans. We fucked up. We're going to make a new game. We're not going to waste time on
Sean, you'd be the worst community manager.
Guys,
you would hate me.
Sean.
Oh my God, I would whip those
Sean,
people.
you were given most based in the poll as you were speaking.
This is good.
Like every time you talk, the votes come your way.
What, really?
Richard Sean, community manager, like, dude, this game is fucking broken. Don't play it. It'll get good in like a year, but like, don't fuck with it until then.
But if it's gonna
community
really,
manager
like,
343.
If it's really gonna take 2 years to fix, I'd be like, nah, just stop, wipe this out, just
make Halo Infinite 2.
Just wipe it out. Just start
Halo
over.
3 2.
343 is always struggling with this too. Is that like they have the ability to control the narrative of what's going on with their games, but they're just like so quiet a lot of times. So don't come out a lot of things like. We're like, oh, we've been, they know the community is going like the population, and then they release that one thing saying like 20 million people play. They're like, well, what's that measurement of? It's just 20 million people.
They do that every time. I feel like. They said like Halo 4 was the biggest launch, Halo 5 was the biggest launch.
Yeah, Halo 5 was the biggest launch. Everyone's like,
what does that mean? People that clicked on the picture on Game Pass? Like, what is this 20? Who are these 20 million people?
It's us. It's us. That's the problem. We talk so much shit, but we show up for every game. If they were like, oh, sorry, we're going to put a new game out in 2 years, we'd be like, ugh. And 2 years would be right there on day one.
Yeah, but I mean, like... Sure, but like it's not that hard to like go check out a game. Like I played the new Call of Duty, it's shit. I fucking uninstalled it after a week. Like I'll check out a game. Like it doesn't, you know what I mean? It doesn't ruin my life. It's just
too many like Halo fans, man. They'll just dump like so much money into this shit, and defend it at all costs.
And like I feel like the people who designed Halo at its core. I think we really need to look at this realistically. The people who designed Halo, and created it as their own vision, they've moved on. They're on to their own projects. They're gone. The fans are all that's left.
Are they all? I mean, Joseph Staten came back, and Marty O'Donnell. They could probably
have Marty O'Donnell didn't come
as
back.
An advisor.
I mean, Joseph Staten's awesome, and he's back. But what I'm saying is, like, the main team.
You're right, Nikos. The genius behind the original Halos clearly went on to Destiny because, as you know, Destiny has issues, but those games are undeniably like very popular. Like
Destiny 2, not Destiny 1. Destiny 1 was a disaster, and Bungie shed most of its base though. A lot of the workers at Bungie left. I remember reading about it.
Bungie is a shell of what it was back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, the Bungie today isn't the same one. But like that's what I'm saying. These people aren't there anymore at Bungie either. So like, I don't know.
Anybody want some Doomium? So right now, look, we're not getting. We're not getting any information. We're not getting any information right now, and it makes no sense. We're like, why can't they give us a roadmap? This is just like during the content drought.
Couldn't 2020 they just be open and be like, yo, we might have to like. I don't get how you can like move a roadmap. Like what?
Because they don't have anything.
Yeah, but like, don't they have like a plan? Like tomorrow, tomorrow, like this guy called Peter is gonna start working on this.
Look,
like, what are they doing?
Listen, bro. In 2020, we did the whole end the content drought thing. And we're like, why aren't they giving us anything? Just give us concept art. And now we know on from their end. They were like, yeah, we'll give you something, but we don't have anything. They didn't have anything. They had nothing. That's why there was a content drought. They barely got this game out the door. The reason we're not getting anything right now, it's got to be the same thing. Like when they're not talking and they're not giving us anything, we're like, what's going on? They don't have anything, man. They don't think they have anything. I don't think they have jack shit. I don't think it. Dude, Unishet goes, we can't fix the visors because then we'd have to pull someone off of Season 2. They are barely getting Season 2 done, man. And they have like 3 months to just like slap together a battle pass with some helmets and some armor coatings.
What's a grand thing that's coming with Season 2 that like they need to like they can't
like another 100 pages of battle pass.
I mean, wasn't that kind of the idea of like reworking the engine so they can like have multiple updates, like kind of quick turnaround and stuff like that?
Yeah,
that was kind of the big thing that they advertised.
That somehow.
Yeah, no, it's
and I mean, like the thing is,
bro.
And I mean, I do realize like fixing bugs and shit, that's a lot of work, right? But like, how is like, I don't know, couldn't there be more people? Like, couldn't you get a better support studio? Couldn't like someone from Bethesda help you? Like, this is a huge company.
So I heard
think so.
I heard this was something interesting told to me this past week, and I did look into this. It does seem to be true. What seems to be going on in the gaming industry right now is that it's extremely competitive because so many of these jobs are like work from home. I know someone who just jumped from a major studio to another major studio. They got offered a job. So I think what's honestly happening right now is you have these mega game studios out there. You have like there's tons of people working on Fortnite, tons of people working on COD. So if you are a skilled game developer right now, you are like guaranteed a job. You're in demand. So it's like you can go work for 343, right? Maybe you don't even make as much. You're working on Halo. It's not that hot. Or you just go to Fortnite, you go work for Epic, you go work on one of the COD games, you get paid way more, you have way more job security because those games are so popular, they're not going anywhere. So I think part of the issue is that 343 literally is struggling to find good workers, like literally. And like, if you look on their website, they are hiring for a lot of people. They just lost a bunch of people. Have you guys seen? Like they're losing, losing people like crazy. It's because the market is so competitive. People are like, oh shit, well, I could work at 343, the scuffed studio with this game that's like not that great. Or I can just go do something fun, like a game that's not broken, and I can make way more money.
A bigger team and more support.
Rant, but like that's what I heard is I think it's just so competitive right now.
That makes
sense.
I think
you're hitting the nail on the head. I think there's two ways. I mean, I'm not a developer or whatever, but there's like two ways you can go with it. You can go to the bigger, more successful, more money project, or you can go to the smaller project that gives you more creative vision. You do more what you want, like you go indie. Whereas currently, like Infinite's just a AAA product with like kind of a floundering design and like a shitty, like a fan base that just shits on you all the time. Like it, as a developer, what's the draw to develop Halo games unless you're passionate about Halo? Like you're gonna develop a game that hasn't been very relevant recently. I mean, you do get Microsoft on your resume, which I've heard is like useful, but it's useful as a pivot point. It's not useful as like a permanent thing, you know?
And I feel like they turn away a lot of people that are passionate about Halo, right? Like the contractors that get switched out. I've seen them on Twitter and stuff, right? They're very passionate, right?
Oh, yeah.
They led like these projects that turned out good for the game, right? But like they were just there for 18 months and now they're gone, right? So like you get passionate people for 18 months and then they're gone. And like, you know what I mean? You have like troubles hiring people.
Market.
Yeah,
you need
the
everybody
competitive
you
market.
Can get.
But like the thing is, like sure there's a competitive market, but how Microsoft has so many people working on games, right? How can they not move over people? I'm sure.
I think it's like you said,
more money.
I think it's like you and Rash said. Like the truth is that they know they don't need Halo. Like think about it.
Yeah,
they just spent damn near $70 billion to acquire Activision. What does that tell you? Microsoft sat there and was like, all right, we have billions of dollars. We could take like $5 billion and fund like a whole bunch of new games, like new IPs and make all these new games. Wait, why can't we do that? Okay, we're going to need to have new studios and hire people. Oh no, we can't get those people because all the good people are over at the big studios working on the major games. So that's why they're buying up Activision. They're like, we're better off just spending billions to acquire these companies than make our own because it's too hard. And 343 is one of like original kind of like studios. So
you think that's what the case is? Like maybe Xbox Gaming's like, we need to really kind of branch out and not rely so much on Halo to kind of carry us. And that's why they bought those studios.
Sure, but I mean, they already had Bethesda, right? That's like a bunch of games. Fallout, Elder Scrolls.
I think in today's world,
huge. They have.
I think it's just so hard to like. I think the way people like look at movies, right? Like every movie nowadays is like a reboot or a remake or a sequel. There's just not that much.
They're remaking Clifford
stuff.
the Big Red Dog.
Oh Jesus!
Into a live action.
They don't
so make
hard
original
to sell
things
original
anymore.
shit.
Yeah, it really
hard.
is.
You're better off just buying something because if you put like $1 billion into some like new IP, there's no guarantee it's probably gonna flop because people are scrolling on their phone. They're like, oh, what is that new thing? Oh no! And then they see another Batman. They're like, oh yeah, I'll play that. Oh, more Fortnite, yeah. So it's like
they just want a bump of nostalgia, dude. Like that's
people
all it is nowadays. That's all the entertainment industry is nowadays. New ideas don't sell as well as what works.
Is that true?
Too risky.
Because like we've seen like all the BRs coming out of nowhere, right?
Yeah, but most of those were indie projects. Like
Sure,
or like
Destiny.
or like
This
Destiny,
looter shooter.
Destiny,
Like, that wasn't
Destiny,
really around.
Overwatch, Valorant.
yeah,
those are
okay, I guess
probably
those
like
are-
the new
those are-
IPs that were successful, right?
Yeah, or all the survival
Fortnite as
games.
well,
I guess
you can
most
put
of
that
them
in
were
there.
indie games, right?
Yeah,
But,
most of the
like-
survival games are lower budget. When you have a lower budget, you have more freedom to like make those risks. But that's to Sean's point. If you're blowing AAA budget, that
What are they
you
blowing
have
it
to
on,
do the safe option. That's why like Ubisoft and EA just released X sequel for whatever fucking franchise they've had around for like 15 years because
X
it's like,
Defiance, is that what you're talking about?
oh no, that game's just bad. But
Or Ubisoft, yeah.
that
dude,
come
I
out
don't
yet?
know what Ubisoft is
X-Defiant.
doing, man.
The
I
game
think
Those like
That's
Dead or
stupid.
Arrival.
They made
Did that come
NFTs
out?
that didn't sell.
Yeah,
So-
Jeez,
Ubisoft
NFTs.
is just completely lost. But like, you know,
Ubisoft
They're
doesn't
lost
know what
in
they're
the
doing.
sauce.
Yeah,
The
they're lost in the
European-
NFTs.
so they're different.
Fuck, guys, I gotta go, man. It's been a couple hours.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
almost
Yeah,
12
it's
near
like-
me. I feel
Mm.
bad because I'm having so much fun right now, but I got
This
I
is
got
really
to
cool. We could do it
I
again,
am.
I'm sure.
I should keep going though.
Oh,
Like
I'm
keep
sure we
going. Don't
could do
stop
it
just because
again.
I'm dipping.
I think there'll be
Yeah, I'll argue some more.
I mean,
Hey,
I-
don't
I'll argue
stop just 'cause
somewhere.
I have to go.
I think like legitimately though, I feel like Microsoft sees Halo as a liability. Like, okay, if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, well, shit. Okay, well, why would we pour money into it? Because you tell like a software developer, a junior software developer, whatever, and you say, hey, I need you to come program and fix this game. I'm gonna move you from the Forza studio to the Halo studio. He's going, well, why do you want me to do that? I don't want to look through code I don't understand yet, because being as I am a computer scientist, that's what I'm in school for. The hardest thing ever is understanding what other people have written in programming. Even no amount of comments, because you can put comments in the code.
Yeah,
No
that's
amount of
true.
comments will save you. And most of the time, people skip the README anyway. Don't skip the README. Always look at the README. But no one wants to do that. You
But
throw
if
them
they
in a,
paid you more money, would you do it, right?
but how much would that have to
I
be?
gotta-
Microsoft,
I mean,
how
that's,
much
gotta
do they
go,
have
guys.
to
that's
do?
for each
I'm-
person.
Sean, it's good
That's
catching
for
up,
each
man.
person, right?
Good catching
See you
up.
guys,
Rich.
man. Good
See ya.
chat, guys. Rats,
Nice to
thanks
meet
for
you, man.
inviting me.
for sure, man.
See you
Thanks
guys
for
around.
coming on.
Thanks for coming,
Indeed.
man.
Peace, guys.
Peace.
But like
Um,
I don't think Microsoft cares enough. They're like, how much money would we pay this guy? It's not worth our time. We already have the C team of 343 working on it, and they're a shell of what they were. They don't have all the developers. No one's gonna want to go on that sinking ship for like a modest pay increase. They're gonna want something big, and it's also scary. It's job security. It's just it would be a scary move, I think. I don't know. I really
yeah, but
don't.
I
know
don't
what they
see
can
I
do.
don't see 343 changing. So therefore,
I don't see them
Well,
changing
so like,
either.
one thing that you always see on Twitter or whatever is that like 343 should be fired and they should give Halo to like X company or they should start new company. But
Nope.
like, I don't see how that solves any of our problems because like
Yeah.
most other companies probably don't want Halo unless they're a smaller company that doesn't have IP. Because like we'll throw out names that people say. Like people are like, id should work on Halo. Why would id work on Halo? Like from their own point of view, like they have more successful franchises currently, and they have passion for those franchises. They don't have passion for Halo. Like why would they want to work on Halo? Or like do you give it to like one of the Activision support studios? Like maybe that one makes sense if they don't want to work on like Call of Duty, but you're not really going to find an established like large AAA company that is going to want to take over Halo, because the only companies that are going to want to take over Halo are companies that don't have their own like established IP, and at that point you're just giving it to like a different smaller studio and hoping they're better. So it's like I think Halo is stuck with 343. The only thing that changes is maybe like you change out management, but
I mean that hasn't changed in years either, though.
The worst thing though is, like I said, looking through code as someone who didn't write it. Wow, I can English. As someone who didn't write it is going to have a really difficult time. Now imagine firing the entirety of 343 and you get a company of, I don't know, X amount of people on board. That problem of sorting through all that code and this engine that was lovingly crafted for Infinite is going to be multiplied by that
for
amount.
sure.
And
yeah.
it'd be just a nightmare. Like just dropping 343 overnight, because then there's I don't even know. I feel like Microsoft has control over 343 as well, politically wise.
Yeah.
Within the company because they created them, so they can kind of have Halo on a little leash, make sure it doesn't get too feisty, you know. But
yeah, someone in chat said they should give Halo to 1047. I don't want to be rude, but have you looked at Splitgate's player base numbers?
Like,
maybe 1,000 players.
I have a good idea. Just sell Halo to Tencent.
Ah, yeah, fuck it. All right, let's just do that. Actually, let's just get Chinese money into
Sell
Halo.
it to Epic Games.
Let's just give it to the
Dude,
Chinese.
if we can get the Chinese hooked on Halo, we're
That's
set
true.
for life.
That is the savior. That's
It's
the
all
savior.
it's all good. We need the Chinese game developers to save us. I feel like that's fair.
Dude,
that's what's keeping PUBG afloat.
The cosmetics and the microtransactions would unironically probably get better.
Yeah, like League of Legends.
Yeah, Valorant. Those are all fucking Tencent.
The fucking Chinese games are good. Like, I don't know. Like,
what if we gave Halo to Riot Games?
They'd probably do a better job.
But yeah,
we'd probably have a dope ass animated Netflix series.
We were getting a TV show. That's actually one of the points I wanted to talk about. Do you guys think this TV show has like any effects on the game, or do you think it's kind of just its own thing and maybe it's successful, maybe it's not? It doesn't really matter.
I don't think it will be relevant. It's gonna be its own thing, first of all, and then also if this like TV show fails, which I mean, I don't know, we'll see, right? I feel like we're not gonna be getting anything of like this ever, because like this is a show that's been like delayed and had issues for like since 2013 when they first announced it, right?
Yeah.
And at that point, Halo was like
this show's gone through development hell.
Yeah, like Halo was still more relevant 10 years ago. There's a show 10 years in the making, basically.
It's like if they made a loop.
If this is gonna fail, like we'll never see a Halo TV show again.
Mm-hmm. It's like if they made a Duke Nukem show today, it would just be so out of place. Like,
yeah.
Well, they did make a Castlevania show, but like that, I heard that was actually
different.
Good.
I heard that was good.
Also, it's animated, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay, but like every Halo live action thing I've seen, the action scenes and the shooting, it just looks like some fucking neckbeards in the fucking forest playing paintball. Like, I just can't get over the fact it looks like one of those shitty like paintball or like airsoft videos on YouTube. And I mean, like,
LARPing or some shit.
Yes, like they're LARPing. That's the thing. It just looks like they're LARPing. And I haven't gotten that vibe yet from the Halo TV show, right? But like with Nightfall, with like Forward Until Dawn especially, that shit was ass. I don't know how people like that. One of the worst fucking things I had to sit through. We put it in fucking D tier, right? And like people were so fucking upset.
I like the last 5 minutes where they
sure,
fight.
but like and then you had to sit through 90 minutes of this guy watching his dead brother's videos, them LARPing in the forest, and then like him staring behind the blurry background.
It was just like a high school drama, but like in sci-fi
and Halo, and then the Covenant attack, and it showed how uninteresting the drama was because it all just faded away.
Yeah, and
then, this is more important.
Like, and all this doesn't matter. Covenant.
They could have started the show with that and then continued through like the chief fighting people or Lasky joining further fighting in the UNSC. They could have shown like Lasky growing up, becoming an officer, you know. Screw it, go to Harvest, go to Reach, start dropping names. Let's go somewhere fun. But no, we just gotta blow stuff up in this foggy forest for a bit, then leave.
Yeah, and I mean, like the show hasn't given me that vibe of that vibe of LARPing yet, right? From what I've seen. But you know,
the show looks good from what I saw.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
I
I prefer Blue Cortana, but
yeah, the Flash Cortana
it doesn't look that bad. Like, on
it really doesn't.
I do have to say, like the AK, and I mean, like it's not that big of a deal. It did like kind of seem weird to me.
Well,
like,
it's kind of cool
and the old Chevy. I mean, is it though? Because like, imagine trying to shoot a gun from 6 years ago. You're probably gonna die because the fucking gun is gonna explode, right?
Well,
like this is like 500 years in the future.
What about that 2002 Chevy Super?
Yeah, they literally have the car I
Suburban.
drive. Yeah, I literally drive that car, and it's like on the fucking like someone exported this shitty ass car to like another planet 500 years in the future. What?
Hey,
I mean, it's not gonna ruin the show
be
for
resourceful,
me.
Right?
Yeah,
I can see firearms though. I can see firearms more because, like, think of it this way. So also firearms can withstand time, modern ones at least, because they're treated really well.
Do we have firearms from 500 years ago?
some have been preserved, but in this world, like our modern technology we have isn't made of the same materials that corrode quickly like past weapons have been. But I mean, I thought it was a little off-putting because there's an AUG as well. If you look closely, there's a Steyr AUG that one of the guards is holding, along with the guy next to him with the AK. And well, I think it kind of caught me off guard a bit. It kind of works. Not the Chevy Tahoe, that thing's ridiculous, but it kind of works because like you look through history, you've had moments where like nation states have gone to war with other tribes or nation states and they had a vast technological difference. And I feel like on an outer colony like this, maybe those were like heirlooms or something. Like, oh, my great granddad used this in the 80s.
But the great granddad, that's not his great granddad. It's his great.
Yeah, and maybe that's like
8 generations. That's what I'm saying. We have people have used old guns, but it was all within like a 80-year time window, right?
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean.
It's a little bit of a long time window, but I can kind of be more forgiving of that than the Chevy because it's like, okay, they're poor, they got whatever guns they have. But I was a little confused because I'm like, it is a 600-year difference, and the assault rifle was the Halo assault rifle, the M85B was everywhere.
And a shittier version of the like a futuristic gun. Like I'm sure someone could have thrown up like a future gun from like 100 years ago. Like,
I understand it a bit though, because the AK is extremely durable, but. I mean, and there's millions upon millions.
I mean, we'll talk about this again in 600 years, but like, I don't know, dude. I just feel like that shit would not last that long.
Not to mention, Halo weapons aren't exactly much more advanced than current weapons. Like, if you think about it, the assault rifle is just a bullpup automatic rifle.
Remember that back then, like in 2001, people were like, Halo's supposed to be set like 500 years in the future, and they're still using bullets.
Pump action shotguns, and the ammo counters are the only real cool thing. But like they just are based off modern firearms. Like the original assault rifle and some of the iterations we've had have like the Heckler and Koch style, bolt where you have to like yank it back and plop it up into a locked position, much like the MP5 and G3. So like the weapons have never been super far into the future, so it kind of fits, but I don't know.
I mean, some of the weapons. What about the Spartan laser? Or
yeah, that's a giant fuck off laser, so it's a bit more advanced.
You know what I mean? Like
we do have rail guns nowadays. They're fitting them on battleships. See? Well, not battleships, like destroyers.
Star Destroyer.
Well, like current destroyers in the Navy.
Yeah, no. But we're building Star Destroyers already.
But, no, those are already ready.
Space Force.
Space Force. Has that gone anywhere?
No.
I mean, the show was pretty good.
The show was alright. Isn't it? They definitely I mean, this is the Halo. We're getting really off topic now, but I remember the marketing for Space Force. Like they highlighted that people from The Office worked on it, and I feel like they kind of misled people because it definitely is not The Office.
No, it's vastly different. Like the art design is, it's I like
also
uniqueness.
the writing and stuff, but yeah.
But it all seems a little it seems a little like original. I'll put it like that. I don't really dislike what I saw. I'm not snorting copium because I could not care less if the show.
It's kind of like, the franchise Avatar with like the blue people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you watched it and it was like, okay, yeah, this was okay, but like, can you name a single character from like, you know what I mean? Can you name a single relevant like thing from that stuck with you?
Well, they were the giant robots that fought with knives.
Oh, I get. Oh, yeah. Okay.
And the planes were cool. They reminded me of the Hornet.
Yeah, but can you name a character name or you know what I mean? Like it's just like just these vague moments you remember, and like it's not terrible, but it's not like game changing or like I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember a single character's name. They weren't really well written anyway, or memorable.
It was just Dances with Wolves in Space, anyways.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't we do this? I think we kind of said a lot to say. I only had really one other thing written down, and this is probably like a super quick point. You guys can just give your opinion if you think it means anything or if it's just kind of indicative of where Halo's at right now. But if you go on good old Solinome, which is a website that shows like a bunch of Twitch statistics, I think one like trend that you can notice is when the game came out, there was a lot of variety streamers and variety like just player gamers and YouTubers that were covering and playing Halo. and like all of those people have evaporated at this point. Like, do you guys think that's just? Do you think that's just because the game is kind of bland, and then they just like they don't
the same
really...
reason we stopped?
Yeah,
right.
Okay.
Like, why I can't see Myth or Summit play the game more than we did, because they I mean, they realize the same thing, right? And they don't need to play this, right? Like, they just move on.
Yeah,
and I mean,
Well,
like,
also it's not a battle royale, which is just really.
I
Like, Summit doesn't
mean-
really play BRZ, but he does. But like guys like Doctor, Disrespect, and
Sure, but, like-
Tatman, all those other big name streamers, they all do battle royales, which are totally different types of gameplays compared to like what Halo has to offer.
But I mean, they're trying to look for other things too and playing other things. But like, I'm just saying, like, variety streamers like Summit and stuff and Myth. I don't know. They just or like, why keep why keep him around, or Cloaksy or whatever.
yeah.
Or even XQC, right? I think he played the game too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they fall off the same way we fell off, and then like it has an impact because you don't keep these people around. So like, if XQC would be streaming this game 12 hours a day, right? I mean, I think the game would be in a better spot. And obviously, relying on streamers and like all that's a whole different discussion. But like, having that publicity constantly and people watching it constantly will eventually make people want to play the game. You know what I mean?
And
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's been proven that people who view Twitch are much more dedicated gamers to the whatever game that they like to watch as well.
Yeah. And I mean, like, how many games have we seen that blew up on like streaming and like then became huge? And like, I don't know. I mean, obviously, it's hard to pander for that, and it's like something I don't think you can force. It has to come organically.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the reason they fell off, which I think is what the Rush was asking, is just because they also grew tired of it, like we did.
So
It just seems like everyone just kind of gets like, it tries out something, it's fun for a bit, and then they just go back to playing Apex or
let me ask
Warzone.
a follow up to this question, because Sage pointed something out in chat, and I don't know if I fully agree, but I think it's an interesting talking point. So like, if you go through this list, like Summit, Cloaksy, Myth, Lyric, CDN, not Scump, but like 72 Hours, XQC, these are all players, not Nick Mercs, but like, these are all players that play games on mouse and keyboard. Is the fact that Halo still hasn't properly like integrated mouse and keyboard gameplay like holding it back, or is that kind of just like an irrelevant talking point?
I actually would probably say that definitely plays a factor.
I mean, part of it, yeah.
I think it
that's
plays
the
a
hard part
small
about that's the
factor,
hard
though.
thing though. It's like you can't mess with like how Halo feels though, because that's like if you mess with that,
Well-
because like you'd have to fundamentally change how like Halo feels like controller for it to truly be balanced properly. Which, I would say don't do that at all, because what we got right now, at least for Halo, feels pretty good. It's just that it sucks for mouse and keyboard, but you just gotta make mouse and keyboard better. But how do you do that? I mean, I don't put aim assist on mouse and keyboard, like or
No.
something,
It just,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, there's just something off. I don't know. They fucked it up somehow.
I
But,
don't
like,
think
I
it's.
think-
Go ahead.
I think it's just one of the many reasons why these people dropped off. I don't think it's the main reason, or like if that was the only issue, I don't think they would have dropped off in the same way, right? It's also the lack of content, growing tired of playing the same modes over and over again, and stuff like that. And then on top of that, not your input or your preferred input being kind of shit. But there's just something that feels off, and I think it might have to do with them removing like the red, like when you aim over people, right? They removed it.
Mm-hmm.
Red reticle
for
range,
most
you're
people.
saying, for
Yeah.
on PC?
Yeah, and like
I
don't
mean,
know,
that could maybe affect like how it feels, like understanding like how your bullets are gonna hit.
yeah, and I
Makes
feel
it-
like that's kind of weird. And then I mean the desync, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And
Which I mean,
think,
the desync we all fell off because of the desync. I feel like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
number one complaint. And I mean that doesn't matter which input you play. The desync is 8.
universal, totally.
Yeah.
And Luke, you're completely correct. I think it has a very small impact. I mean, it's a frustrating experience because I love mouse and keyboard far more than controller. I feel like I'm in a box when I'm on controller, but when I'm on mouse and keyboard, I feel like I have total control of movement.
I
But
do as well.
what's more,
Halo's the only
important-
game I play on controller.
Same, and
Yeah.
I've heard that from a lot of people. Exactly, there you go. But I think what people are really tired of, I think the core issue is that not just me, but other players, people watching on Twitch, people are tired of Oddball and Livefire all the time. And like it's just the same thing. It's the same maps, the same modes. And they're not particularly really interesting either compared to many other
Oh yeah, they're
Halo
like
games.
old, like 17-year-old modes, right? Or like
Yeah, they're kind of just Call of Duty maps. There's very few maps with like man cannons or cool like visuals or just what Halo's been known for. Like the fusion coils are the only interactive part of the environment, but they're only on like a few of the maps, obviously, because they ruin ranked. But like all of the fun environments that Halo is known for is just gone, and that wouldn't be such a problem because some of the maps I love, but there's only like 3 maps that I remember because it's just on loop. It's on loop to the point to where there have been times where I've been in a lobby and I'd say live fire for the 3rd time in a row again, you know, and I don't think you should ever have to say that.
There's also something pricked. I mean, like this might be, but like I feel like, okay, let's say you have a pool of 5 maps, right? There should be a 20% chance to get this map, right? To get each map. But sometimes it feels like it's like 10% for this map, 8% for this map, 42% for this map. It just feels weird. And like that it doesn't wager in which map you just played either. And like, I don't know, it's just like the loop of having to play the same maps is even worse because you're actually going to play the same maps. It's not like you play map 1, then map 2, then map 3, then map 1 again, then maybe map 4. You know what I mean? You'll play like map 1 like 3 times before you get the fucking...
Some of the maps have multiple modes on them, and rather than take into account each map as an individual like factor and whatever RNG they're using, they take into account the mode on each map. So like Behemoth has, let's say, like it has Slayer and Capture the Flag, so it shows up twice in the roster. Meanwhile, Livefire has Strongholds, it has Slayer, it has Oddball, so it shows up 3 times. That's pretty much why you're gonna see Livefire more than the other. And I think that's not only a pretty stupid system, but like, is it just me or like were older Halo maps designed for more than just a few modes? Like I feel like
I
there was more than one.
I think yes and no. I mean, like not every map was designed to hold every mode, but definitely you can tell that some maps were kept in mind to hold multiple modes at once.
I think in the past you could tell like what maps were designed for what, like.
Yeah.
But I think the problem is a lot of Infinite and H5's maps are definitely designed, especially the 4v4 maps, they're designed to be competitive esport map, like competitive shooter maps, as opposed to like old Bungie design. Like sure, Midship is like a fucking like classic when it comes to Halo esports, but it wasn't actually designed to be an esports map. Like if you listen to the H2 podcast thing that Bravo did, they talk about how Midship was just supposed to be this cool CTF map where you could see across the map and play 2v2 CTF with your friend. It ended up being an amazing 4v4 competitive map, but that wasn't actually the initial vision. Whereas like if we talk about Livefire, what is the design document for Livefire other than make asymmetrical 3-lane competitive map? That's what it is, and that's also what Streets is, and that's also what Aquarius is, and that's also what Recharge is. Although it's not a 3-lane map, but like all of these maps,
like 3-lane, but like diagonally kind of 3-lane.
Yeah, like all of these maps are designed. Those maps that I just named, they're all designed to be good maps for the HCS. Whereas like Behemoth, which people don't love, was at least it tried to do Halo things. I don't think it's good, but it tried. Launch Site tried to do asymmetrical, like one flag asymmetrical objective, kind of like Zanzibar did back in the day. It's butthole, but at least it
also it's pretty awful.
At least
Launch
it tried.
Feels like a classic BTB map for like the size of like classic BTB.
Yeah,
Launch which is another thing. Couldn't they have just like on top of BTB 2.0, like just also giving us some old BTB, like
why don't? Yeah, or like why? Why isn't there squad battle? Why isn't there 6v6? Like I guess it would only be Behemoth and Launch Site, but like I think that's another one of the big issues with the map pool is if you go back to classic Halo 3, or even I think classic Reach, but classic H3 for sure. I'll just use it as my talking point because I remember it. Think how many BTB maps weren't solely BTB maps. Now, granted, they got criticism for that after many years and by like competitive scenes, but like Standoff, Valhalla, like all of these Last Resort, all of these BTB maps you'd also play in social, you'd also play in ranked, and so like it made it so that when you were playing BTB, it wasn't just like a couple maps. When you were playing like 4v4 social, it wasn't just the ranked maps. You know what I mean? Like they were able to like mix up because Halo 3 only had like one more map at launch than this game does. But the problem is that this game feels like you have 3 different map pools. You have competitive HCS maps that you play in ranked. You have those maps plus the 2 casual 4v4 maps. And then you have the BTB maps that are all off on their own. Like, you kind of have these, you don't have maps that are overlapping because everything, I guess back to your point, is designed for a specific like purpose, and it doesn't do anything else. Like the BTB maps are obviously too big for 4v4, but these other maps aren't like, there's no, I don't know, there's no like overlap.
Yeah, and I think that's completely right, because remember Halo 3, like you said, had only one extra map, but it felt like it was more diverse because you could queue up into social and get into a big team map, or there was just more random chance of just getting slotted into some other map, so it would create more diversity. And even worse, with the state of big team battle and how it's continuing to be a failure and how it doesn't work. It's working a bit better for me, I must be honest, but still breaking down. That knocked off 3 maps, and it would have been much cooler if those were like in the social queues somehow. But you're totally right, the design philosophy of the maps is completely off. Back then, like you said, they would said, let's make a cool map that you could see through, and it has capture the flag. But notice how they inadvertently made one of the greatest ranked tournament maps. But when they go out to make tournament maps, it's not fun for tournament. It's not fun for casual. It's like, keep the core focus of Halo in mind, which was just the casual, fun, friend gameplay. Don't make like an unbalanced map. I don't mean that in any sense, but make the game good before you make it competitive. I think, add some variety, the spice of life. Like, I really don't understand their design philosophy here.
And also, I think just like that feeling the lack of content is just certainly hitting hard with BTB not being playable for most of the people out there. I guess you've been able to play kind of, you're extra patient with it.
Yeah, it's like technically, it's the frustrating thing is like it is technically playable. Like if I go launch BTB, I can play it, but I'll also like crash out of like 2 or 3 lobbies. And it's just not worth the hassle. So like most people just don't.
I haven't been able to play a single game since.
Oh, does it just straight up not work? Okay, well,
it will load and just kick me out.
Okay, that's what it does for me sometimes. But like sometimes it.
Try refreshing it. Yeah, that happened to me today. It kicked me out twice, and then I got in, but the music glitch happened. One time I got in and the sound wasn't working, so like it sounded terrifying. You could hear the enemy's guns, but you couldn't hear their footsteps, and you couldn't hear your own footsteps. So it was very eerie.
And for me, it goes like right into like just about to load into the game. Before you go into like that load screen, it says like players match loading game, and then it goes into the load screen. Right as I go into that load screen, that's when I get kicked out.
Yeah, that happens a lot to me too. But I'm sorry you can't make it into any. That's rough. Gee, I really love gambling to see if I can make it into a multiplayer lobby.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean. I guess that's just kind of, I think that's been, and this isn't a Halo specific issue. I think too many games nowadays try to like design the game around the esport when it's like, it's almost like the portion of your player base that is actually like going to be a competitive player pursuing the esport is so small when you like put the rest of the game at a detriment just to make that experience. Because like these maps are when I play like HCS or I play like a ranked arena, like these maps are fine competitive maps. Like Streets is a good map, Aquarius is a good map, Recharge is a good map, and Live Fire is a good map, but like none of them are memorable because they're all just good competitive maps. You know what I mean?
There's no character. Yeah. There's no like what do I remember about Sand Trap? Oh, the minefield on the outside, and oh, the elephants. Oh, but that's not all. There's the temple in the middle and all the cool gravity lifts, and just wow, it was such a good map. And then there's the Banshee if you want to do some air combat. Okay, what about Valhalla? Oh, the hill in the middle and the river going down, and then the 2 bases, and there's a Banshee on each side, but there's a Spartan laser in the middle, so be careful. I remember that stuff. What do I remember about like let's say High Power, the one that's like in the cliffs? There's a sniper weapon pad on a hill, and there's a bunch of big holes, and and then the wasps spawn. But if you want any other vehicle, the pelicans drop them randomly, and you might just get spawn killed while getting them. So that's cool.
Well, I mean, like also the like interactive part with like the cannon going off and like the spire going off is when we like score a point is pretty cool. But
it's very cool.
Yeah.
I agree, but it doesn't have to do with the gameplay. You know.
Yeah.
It's cool watching a cannon go off, but once, like, if you're an artillery officer and you see that thing go off like 100 times, you're probably like, yeah, it's a cannon. But it is an impressive visual, and I do like that little touch that they added. But I definitely do think that if they could just, like, port Sandtrap over, or make a map similar to Sandtrap in the amount of depth and variety that Big Team is known for in the past, I would really enjoy it. Because I gotta admit, I love BTB, but I don't really love it in this game. Like, I'm trying to. I just don't enjoy it that much. Like, it just seems wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's
especially with like the way the vehicles work. There's also just like the lack of vehicle play too, just because the way that we with those pelican drops, which I think is a cool way to bring in the vehicles too. I would just need to change up how the spawning works, but even in fundamentally how it really works, like generally casually, like people will just jump into a vehicle and just drive it straight into the enemy spawn every single time. That's why like I never jump into like my rule when I play online is like I never jump into a random's Warhawk because they're just gonna ram it into the spawn and we're gonna die instantly. And that's what kind of happens every single time when these pelican drops happen, both at the same time on each side of the base, that they'll grab into a vehicle, run into the enemy team spawn, it blows up, it's in play for like 30 seconds, and then it's back to just like strictly gunplay again.
Yeah, totally. And I see someone in the chat saying I feel like BTB 2.0 was lazy. It was like was just like, what if BTB was bigger? But that's the thing. The only thing that's bigger are the lobbies. There's less of a vehicle roster. There's less predictable weapon spawning, and the maps aren't even as big. Sandtrap was massive. Sandbox, like, oh wow. You could like forage up in the top section and turn it into this big crazy world, and those maps often ended up in like BTB lobbies for Halo 3. Like Forge World maps, like Paradiso, Hemorrhage, Blood Gulch, they were massive. Like, what do y'all think? Do y'all think this is even an improvement in the size or scale of Big Team Battle? Or
no,
I don't think taking BTB from 8v8 to 12v12 is anything other than a talking point to put on paper. Because you don't actually have engagements that are 12v12. Like, all the maps are designed to split off engagements and have little squad battles like every Halo BTB map has ever been. So by making the maps slightly larger, which I would argue the maps are bigger than Sandtrap, like in like actual playable area. Like Sandtrap was big, but most of that you never went on. But like just making the map slightly more big, but then dropping an extra 8 players on it, like that doesn't actually do anything. In the same way that I think the new Battlefield doesn't benefit from being this ginormous playground, because you're not actually seeing that many players. Like it's a talking point. It's, hey, we made BTB slightly bigger, when in reality it's just more of the same with more people in the lobby. I don't.
Yeah, like having going 12v12 versus 8v8, it's like it's an improvement, but it's like nothing really that changes the experience of the gameplay. So it's like kind of like what I mentioned earlier, like everything we're playing right now in Halo Infinite, it's like stuff we've already all experienced before. There's really no like brand new experience with Halo Infinite besides it just being like a good 343 Halo game for once.
Yeah,
for sure.
But, yeah.
And
no, go ahead.
Oh, I actually don't have much to say at the moment. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's really like probably one of the last topics. I mean, the only other thing that I wanted to talk about, but like as we've talked about so much other stuff, I don't even think it's that relevant, was I was going to bring up like the whole geo-filtering issue, but I don't even know how much you guys like pay attention to that stuff.
I mean, the thing is, why is that not a feature in the fucking game?
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I don't know, like that's another thing why like also ranked is so frustrating, because you get put on a fucking 140 ping server.
Yeah,
like
I know. I mean, that was just like the other day. I got like a 200 ping server.
If you open the text file.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah, but if you do that, you're a bad actor.
Yeah.
You're a bad actor. You know what we refer to in like cybersecurity fields? What bad actors are? They're people who are trying to steal money, trying to commit fraud, trying to harm people. How is editing a notepad value that might potentially interfere with someone else's ability to play a game. How does that make you on the level of those people?
You're a criminal. It should be a felony.
Oh, you committed tax fraud? It's okay, dog. You slap on the wrist. Oh, did you just geofilter? My man.
In jail.
Super max.
Minimum.
25 years.
Good luck with that Microsoft account.
I don't know. The thing is, it should just be a feature, but I mean, I don't think you should do it.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what you should do? Just don't fucking play the game. They don't want you to play the game.
Just
don't fucking uninstall the game until they edit. Like literally, they don't want you to play the game. Now, when you're a pro, obviously it's different, but like, they don't want you to play the game. Just don't play it.
Yeah.
It's that easy.
Yeah. How has like 90% of 343's reach out and community posts to the player base been just negativity, just calling the players like bad actors, or just this is not. Oh man, I just don't get it.
I mean, it's such a weird thing
like,
to
343 can control this narrative if they wanted to. You know, give us news about the news that will be news, kind of stuff. Like, then like people will just be like, okay, that's enough. You know, like we'll do anything.
And also, it's like people just expect more. So you're 2022, like these features, like setting your servers and like fucking rejoining in a game. Like people just expect that, and like that it isn't in there, like makes even people want to fucking geofilter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And which, like, when I get 170 ping, 200 ping servers, I'm like, I understand why geofiltering is a thing.
Yeah, like I think people should just not geofilter and just don't play the game. I think that has better impact. But like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think geofiltering is on the same level as fucking aimbotting or like wall hacking.
No,
obviously,
definitely not.
And if you think that, you're fucking lost. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, in a competitive sense, I can understand why he got banned, right?
Like, yeah, I mean, you can't do that in a tournament.
Yeah, that is totally fine, and they had to do it. But like a regular player geofiltering, who the fuck gives a shit?
Yeah. No! You're a criminal. You're a war criminal.
Yeah, like
worst
why?
Man. FBI most wanted. Take him down, boys.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's just like so fucking weird.
I don't know. It's just dumb because like obviously if you geofilter, you in theory ruin the experience of other people, and it's kind of just like an endless cycle.
How does that work though?
Because like if everyone geofilters, the game will just never find lobbies, but. Maybe that's the solution. Is that's what's gonna and we just break the game.
But, that's what's gonna end up happening anyways. You're not gonna be able to find game because this game is gonna die.
Hey, what's up, Spyful?
Hey, what's up, Spyful?
Dude, Spyful loves geofiltering, but like the
bad actor.
Good timing.
No, he's not a bad actor. He's a good boy. No, but like here's the deal, right? So like. You personally, you're sick of playing Australian servers, right? So you geofilter. But now every time, because this game doesn't have region locking for some reason, despite the fact that like we have a player base, at least in the bigger regions. But like, so like you geofilter to like NA only. So now you like load into a ranked lobby, and there's like you load into an EU lobby or something. Well, so if you're the only one geofiltering, you do pull the whole lobby to the server you picked. And there's like the weirdos too, and this definitely exists. Is like there's the ranked weirdos that geofilter. Like there's two different levels in my opinion. It's the people who geofilter to just their region. So it's like you geofilter just NA, you geofilter just EU, you geofilter just Australia. But there's also like the weirdos who just literally geofilter like the server that's next to them in North America, and it's like, all right, boys, like come on.
That's
but like, here's the thing. Like, okay, you ruin. I mean, I guess so, but it's like the game itself puts people on shitty servers, like on 170 ping. Like what? Like fucking losing my mind that this isn't a feature. Like,
yeah, no, I agree with you. It's a feature in MCC, and before it was a feature in MCC, people geofiltered, so this should have been like. 343 should have known this was coming. Like this was already. You could do the same text file shit in MCC, or you can do it in your router.
It's not even a game related thing, right? It's like you change like the Azure server in your Windows settings.
Yeah,
or some
it's
shit,
not.
Right?
It's not related to the games.
It's not
settings
even
at all. It's a notepad fucking file.
Also, I like
your cloud.
I never bothered with the server selector in MCC because I never got pings above like 70.
Yeah, that's the thing. The matchmaking in MCC didn't put you on a fucking Australian server.
No, and maybe so. Granted, we are all. Well, I don't know. We're all in America, which is the more populated region. But yeah, I never had. I always left every server on in MCC because I never had that issue. Like sometimes I'd get like an 80 ping server if it put me West Coast, but like I never put me to the same extent that this game will just put me on an Australian server or put me on a European server, and it's like, what's going on here, boys? Like,
yeah, and then you lose a fucking 170 ping game, and somehow that punishes you more than any fucking game you've ever played.
Well, like, and I think a lot of that, honestly, is because that one person in your lobby from Australia or that one person in your lobby from Europe is the one geofiltering. Like, so it kind of fucks over everyone. But I don't know. It's just
I don't know. This happened before the fucking geofilter thing even became big.
It did. It
like,
did.
I was put on fucking
You're right.
Shit servers. Like, I don't know. The game itself puts you on shit servers, and you get put on shit servers because people trying to avoid the shit servers. It's just an endless cycle. Just a fucking server selector, and that's it. Literally cannot be that hard. Also, add a rejoin feature, and we're Gucci, dude.
Oh god, dude! Why? The fact that Rank doesn't have a rejoin feature in a game that still crashes is good.
Yeah, this game kills me.
Yeah,
Spiteful's in chat. Dude, it kills me too. Like the first month I played this game, I was so happy. I hadn't played a video game that I actually enjoyed in like a year. I was straight going back to not playing video games for entertainment. And this was something else for me for the first month. And then BTB broke. And then the bugs started happening. And it's almost like it just fell apart in my hands. Like this beautiful flower that I treasured. And it just died in my hands. And I'm in tears. I have a Word document of every bug I've experienced in the game listed out here in my experience.
And the thing is, like the more you play the game, the more like it just falls apart. And like especially with rank, because I mean that to me was the only thing worth playing in this game, even, right? I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I never played Halo multiplayer this much. But then it's like you squad up with your homies, you get put on a 170 ping server, you lose like half a level for no reason, one of you crashes, can't rejoin, then that re-ranks all your other friends because they lose the game 3v4 for some reason, right?
They deserve to be punished.
Yeah, they deserve to be punished
They're
for
bad
their game
actors.
crashing. Yeah, they're bad actors. And like, it's just like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. And
Dude,
like, I mean, I am not good at Halo. And then I made that like, and I'm not saying this as a joke. I should not be Onyx. Like, I don't know. I should not be the fucking highest rank. I'm dog shit at this game comparatively. I should be like,
oh, dude, you don't know how bad
diamond.
I am.
But I should be low diamond, like realistically, if this shit was even balanced. But it's just like, I just played more, and then I did better sometimes, and I guess I didn't get punished as hard. I don't even understand how that works.
Yeah.
Why are we still getting punished for starting a 3-4? Elijah literally hit Diamond 1, right? And we played one more game. My game crashed, right? He lost like half a level, got fucking D-ranked immediately after just grinding up, after like just a win streak, right? It just doesn't make any sense. There's no rhyme or reason to this. It's just random fucking bullshit.
I think it's RNG. I think it's complete RNG.
Why is it based on your kills? Like, we could be playing as a four-stake, right? One of us plays like the fucking B-side, doesn't get many kills, but we hold B-side all game and fucking win because of it. The guy doesn't get anything. I am top fragger, right? Just not playing the objective. I get like fucking half a level or some shit. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Like any good ranked system should prioritize winning with like a small performance adder. But like whoever designed the system at 343 just decided like I hate it when I lose and frag out and I got tilted. It's just like the person who designed the system is like the dude who like loses a game but's like, yeah, but I top fragged. And it's like, well, that's nice, but
it was
good for you, but you lost the game.
If you were able to carry the game, you would have won.
Yeah,
that's the reality of it. That's the reality of all the fucking ranked modes. If you're good at the game, you just carry everyone in your team. If you can't do that, you're not good enough. You're just in the rank you're supposed to be. That's a fact with League of Legends. That's a fact with fucking Valorant. That's a fact with Counter-Strike or any fucking game that has a rank mode.
I think Valorant...
if you don't carry your lobby, you're gonna stay in your rank. And then if you can't carry your lobby, that's the rank you deserve.
Yeah, Valorant does it pretty well because they have a system in place where if you're just like a fucking immortal smurf in silver, like it notices and it just blasts you through the ranks. But if you're just a gold player playing,
they invented it on League of Legends eventually too.
But like if you're just like a gold player playing your gold lobbies, like you win, you go up like 10 to 14 ranked points, like with a little adder if you pop the fuck off, like with an MVP, you lose 10 to 14. Like it makes logical sense. But Halo Infinite, you win a game, you go up 1 fucking CSR, then you win like fucking 5 games in a row, you've gone up a total of 6, you lose 1, you have a bad game, you go down like 15 CSR. And it's like, what are we doing here?
I know, dude. The biggest CSR game I've ever had was like 2 people on the enemy team disconnected, and we fucking crushed them. And I got like 20 CSR, where like a game where like it's a fucking close one, I top frag, I get like 3.
Yeah. But how do you just doesn't make any sense. How do you see the number? I just see a bar.
Once you get Onyx, you see the number.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's just an obligatory.
Yeah, that's also, you do see the CSR on Halo Tracker though.
Oh, you know what I have. You know what really hurts me the most is this game is putting me through the stages of grief, and I'm in the depression stage because this game is the reason my channel's on the map right now. I know y'all probably don't know me, and that's cool. I don't really mind, but I was really enjoying producing content for this game. But it just really defeats me. It takes the wind out of my sails when I see it just crumble, and as I play it, I just can't get into it very much. I was in the denial phase when I was creating videos. I was saying, no, this game is not that bad. Anger is when BTB broke. I was throwing my controller. And now I'm just like, it's over.
Here's the thing. I'm not going to get out of the anger phase until they fucking fix this piece of shit game.
Anger is part of depression. That's the thing. If you've ever
but it's its own stage.
It's still part of... Well, anger, you lash out. You're like, why? Why did you take Helen from me so soon, but then depression is I miss Helen, but you're still gonna be angry. Bargaining is maybe if only I was better, maybe Helen would still be there. And then I just can't wait to get to the acceptance stage. But the problem is I really just want to make videos, and I enjoy doing it. But in the algorithm, Infinite is my golden calf right here. Golden egg right here. You're making biblical references here. It's my golden egg here. And I really want to continue with it, but it just doesn't look like I can. The views are down, And when I play it, I just don't enjoy it as much as I used to. It kind of bores me because I've played all of it. And I'm just like, there's nothing left to experience.
Maybe I'm in acceptance now that I think about it. I haven't opened the game in 3 weeks. I do not care about it.
Luke, good man. You've accepted and moved on.
Luke honestly accepted the game was shit before it even came out. Like, Luke was already
that's the thing. We had this hunch, and people shit on us. There's some fucking cringe kid, 15-year-old kid that made a video on us. I got a bunch of likes. But literally, we said people should be worried about the multiplayer. We were fucking right. We were fucking right, dude. Fuck that guy. Fuck you.
I thought that was a great response video. Let's go watch that guy.
Yeah, we made dude. I don't know. The guy didn't get half the jokes we made in the video too. Okay, I'm still upset about that. If I ever see that guy,
hey, okay, we're still going through the stages of grief with this guy.
He goes like, "Hey man, I was just trying to get views."
Yeah, I'm definitely still in anger, and I don't think I'm gonna get anger. But anyways,
now
shit's fucking rough.
Okay, drop the gun. Drop the gun, Luke. It's okay. He's only 15.
Yeah, this shit was fucking cringe, dude.
This is a good video, guys. All right, I'm gonna
Can you scroll down a bit? Okay, I'm beating him in the views. Let's go. Let's go.
I commented on this. I already watched it.
This guy
I said Lamau.
Dude, nice.
I've attracted a lot of Halo channels recently.
Here's the thing. The video was just completely dog shit. The guy did not get any of the points. Elijah literally made a joke, and he was like, "Oh, they just called themselves the voice of the Halo community, unironically." And then people were pointing it out in the comments, and he was defending that shit. It's just what the fuck are you doing? This guy is just this guy peaked. Shit talking us.
I'm gonna comment on Lamau. I'm gonna comment Lamau. Where is this? What's this video called?
Here,
Miscarriage or some shit is his channel.
If you just search Rocket Sloth response video, it's by Mischief.
The thing is, people should have been worried. We were fucking right. They didn't show the multiplayer that much because it's fucking ass. You know what I mean? We knew.
You guys did have the only negative take when that thing came out.
Yeah, and we got shit on for it. But now, see where we are. Multiplayer is in a rough state. Maybe it's okay to be critical all the time. I don't fucking know.
Boys, this is what the game
I
needs.
just looked
I
at
mean,
his
this
most
wasn't
recent
even-
video.
This wasn't even like one
Oh.
person. This was literally me and Elijah separately coming to this conclusion, right? Like that, like they didn't show much because it's probably
Oh, this is just
not
one of
gonna
those
be that
hate
good.
channels. This is just one of those guys that just wants to attack people.
yeah. And if you like what he did
I
one
don't
video
like
of face
that very
cam, dude,
much.
and I mean, you know, I don't want to attack people.
He did an
looks,
Axeman video.
but I could see his fucking Cheeto dust ring around
There's-
his fucking mouth, dude.
There's a lot of pride flags and the word woke being oh.
Yeah, this is like some cringe
Ooh.
fucking channel, dude. I don't know, dude. Irrelevant fucking. The guy's never gonna take off, dude. It's
I hope
10 years too
my
late.
channel can be saved after Infinite. I hope so. I'm really trying. But it's been fun. You know, and I think that's part of the reason why I was in denial.
Arash, can you get that off my screen? That's actually the thing. Like, I'm actually gonna say some shit. I'm gonna.
Where
fucking
are
get
we?
banned.
How did we get here?
Hey, you better take this off, or like you're gonna get banned because I'm saying I'm gonna say some shit.
Arash,
I'm gonna say something.
Cut stream quick.
where did you find that? What was that?
I googled Halo furry. All right.
Are you that over the
Wait, wait, wait.
podcast?
No,
that shit is gonna-
someone in chat said that they need furry skin, so I looked them up for them. All right, I'm just helping out chat.
We have the cat ears. Isn't that good enough?
Wait, I'm opening up the stream again. Wait, did I?
It's
I
gone
think I
now.
missed-
It's too late. You missed it.
It
I
was
missed- I
it was
missed
like a furry Spartan, and he had like
Yeah.
an AR.
It
I
was
think he had a
good.
watermark on his crotch.
I missed a crucial
Crucial
Right.
plot development.
check, community experience here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And you're just never gonna get that back. You just missed that.
I missed out on these moments, man. These moments.
Unlucky. But yeah, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Another 6 years. Maybe we can do this again in 6 years and see if the game is. But
Okay. Hang on. Yeah, we really do need a furry armored core. Maybe we could get back the community. Maybe we'll get the furry community. Dude, they're passionate.
They're already big into Halo. If you like scroll through the Twitch section, there's always like 3 or 4 VTubers streaming Halo. I never see that shit in other games.
Are they
of course,
furry VTubers
nobody
or
fucking
Yeah, of course
watches
they are.
them. Because nobody fucking watches them
Well-
yet. I could have reason you don't scroll down that far on like.
I think I gotta get a fursona
Valorant.
then. I think I gotta
Holy
get with the
shit,
times.
Can we stop talking about furries, or I'm gonna say something and Rush is gonna get banned. I can feel it. I can feel it. We need to switch topic.
Yeah,
We
I'm
need to switch
streaming
topic.
too now, so you're
Luke, would you say you can feel it calling in the air tonight? The Halo trailer.
Dude, I
Do we
don't
want
know.
to talk
Okay, we need to
about
move on. Let's talk about
Bobbin's
these things.
video? I don't think
I haven't watched
we
it.
even get into that. I mean, he made like a. What's up, Kevin?
like that hour-long disappointing
Yeah.
video.
Yeah, you didn't watch it either, did you?
I've gone like 20 or 30 minutes into it. He's just so aggressive when he talks.
Yeah.
I always feel like he's like pointing his finger at me, like, how could you let this happen? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just playing the game, man.
It's all your fault.
Well, don't they know? Don't you all know that the big YouTubers have total control of the development of the game? I'm
I mean,
sure.
he was one of the Forerunner people, right, or something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, from what I've heard, they didn't have full control either.
I think that the Forerunner program had the same input that the pro team did in like Halo 5, man. I think they like take your advice, but it's not like you actually have any decision
No,
making power.
I think it's like they take your advice. It's like it was like basically a fucking glorified flight. Honestly,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they took the feedback from the flight and they didn't do shit with it. They took the feedback from the Forerunners. They probably didn't do shit with it. And like from what I've heard, like there was like for some reason there was like people that started sweating in these fucking, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, it just was weird.
Yeah. All right. Well, I
Yeah,
think
chat's talking about a VTuber. Hang on, I gotta check this out for
the
myself.
whole podcast going downhill. Like Nikos is looking for the sauce. I think we probably probably wrap it up here. This is a good talk. I really enjoyed it. We've gone for 3 hours just talking about Infinite. I think this would be fun to do again. Maybe like not super soon, because obviously I don't want to retread every point we made, but maybe like a touch base here after season 2 or something. See where it's at. But
Check the chat. I think this is a good way to seal it off. Or is it time to finally say we hate Infinite? Because honestly, I don't hate Infinite.
no, I don't hate it. I'm just disappointed
No,
in
I'm
it.
just
I'm
disappointed.
disappointed.
It's like I have a son and the son like does some shit. Like I'm just disappointed.
I think
I
that's,
feel like
that's the
I'm
biggest
just
thing
disappointed.
is I don't think there is there is Halo creators and Halo players that hate the game. Don't get me wrong. But I think the majority of the fan base, the majority of the YouTubers, the majority of the streamers, no one actually hates this game. Like a lot of, especially people still playing it. Like we enjoy what's there, but we're just disappointed in the product we were given and kind of the state of the game.
Yeah, disappointment is hate.
Yeah.
The fuck?
So we just know the potential that Halo has as well.
Yeah, and that's the worst type of game again, because it really hits you hard. Like if a game just outright sucks, you could probably get some sort of comedic enjoyment about it, or just laugh at it, or just maybe
like,
have
Vanguard's boring, you know. But
Vanguard is boring, so I just sorry.
No one talks about it then, you know.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, what we have for Halo, like, what is there? It's really good. It just doesn't have everything that it needs to be like a good game. The gameplay is great, but
at least Halo 5 had escapes.
Halo
5 had Warzone, you know.
There's gonna be 10 years. Like we're gonna have
10 years of this,
and that makes it even more depressing, because like you know what I mean. When Call of Duty sucks, when Battlefield sucks, like 2 years, new game maybe. You know what I mean? Like it's not that big of a fucking deal. But you know, when this game is fixed in 5 years, maybe it's worth it.
I mean, I'll still make videos on it, just not as often. I'll do other stuff, but like, I mean, I kind of have to. I mean, it's the game, you know.
I think it's time. Everyone in chat, we're all gonna start playing Cursed Halo again. So it's about
dude,
it's about that time.
That's where my channel started. Exactly. Let's do it. Let's go.
All right, I think that does it, guys. Jessup, I mean, Favin like barely even makes videos, man. He didn't like leave Halo. Also, there's nothing wrong with leaving Halo. If there's one thing I respect more than like anything, it's fucking Halo creators piecing the fuck out from Halo and making a living. Like the Halo is like a death pit for content. Like I respect all those people that piece out and make better careers. There's a lot of them that have done it, and I think I don't blame them for it. Yeah, I don't blame them. Like they have passion for Halo, but Halo as a platform hasn't been like it isn't something that is rewarding, and so I don't blame those people. But in Favin's case specifically, the man didn't leave Halo. He just doesn't make videos ever. Like he has said time and time again, like he has a kid now and he has a job. Like YouTube isn't his priority. So I don't know why you're holding that against him. But with that said, I appreciate everyone for coming on the podcast. I appreciate everyone for watching. It was fun. Do you guys have any final words?
No.
Ravioli, give me the formioli.
Perfect. All right.
Thanks for having us, though. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. That was a good chat.
It was a really cool opportunity too. It's just so much fun.
It's the one time Arash actually wants to talk to me.
Whoa.
It's great.
Whoa.
You got you.
Yeah, because I'm always like, hey Rash, you want to play some ranked? You're like, oh, sorry, there's something came up.
You asked me one night, and I said, whoops, I forgot. And then I even got back on.
Kev, if it makes you feel better, I'll talk with you.
That does make Kevin feel better.
Anyway, yeah, but thanks so much for having us, and this was a lot of fun. I hope we do it again soon.
Mm-hmm. Maybe whenever there's like a new update or something.
We can round the
some news that happened or something
when there's stuff to talk about for sure.
Abs, yes.
All right, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Go watch Kevin. He's still streaming. I think he's playing Halo, so you can go watch him play. We'll be back. Well, not we. I'll be back Thursday with something. Castle Crasher stream when I could just tell you no, but I'll keep stringing you along and I'll say I don't know. All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, guys.